I wanted to be mean.
We're back.
Oh. Everyone knows the horrible truth that I'm not a very good person. So I was like, I want to be mean as I switch back with my cruel pranks against Terra. Don't worry about it. I didn't do it.
D&D?
You thought about it, though.
I did think about it, but plenty of people think about lots of weird stuff. That's why it's a good thing we don't live in a world where people can read minds and then punish people for thinking bad things.
Yet.
What is going on?
We'll get there.
He's talking about Minority Report.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about is Minority Report.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god. Like your boss pisses you off and you're like, oh my god. And then they're like, oh, you got mad at your boss. Get out of here. Society
It's not quite
collapse.
how it works, but okay.
Close enough.
Yeah. It's not quite how Minority Report
I know
works,
it's not, but
so...
it's the thoughts. Like thought crimes, but like worse.
Except they can see the future, right?
Yeah, allegedly you're supposed to have act like you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But if it was like just thinking about it, but not actually doing anything.
I can't remember if we were resting and then leaving the next day.
No.
We were leaving in just
We were
a minute,
leaving
right?
that night. We were waiting for sundown.
Undercover.
Why do we want sundown exactly?
Because the dwarf
So we
said it
can
was
sneak.
best time.
So we can sneak through the waterways easier
Okay.
Our guide said so.
without being spotted.
Okay.
But also, there's a bigger risk of like horrible things attacking us.
Taking stealth advice from a dwarf. Let's go.
The Dwarven Ranger.
A dwarf ranger who's probably stealthier than anyone else in this party. So.
Definitely.
Did we want to try to scry on Tirathan or anything like that before we went, or do we want to not take the chance of?
Oh,
him
she isn't
being
caught
able to
up.
see?
You haven't watched anything, have you?
The TLDR wasn't up yet.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch that, and I did not watch the full episode.
Okay.
So basically, when we got to town,
let's catch Katarina up on the situation here real quick.
So we got back. We got paid, of course. We
Uh-huh.
decided to keep most of it converted
How
to
much
gold.
money did I get?
We'll cross that bridge in a
I'll
moment.
find it. I think it
we got our
messaged
gold.
to me.
We ended up going back to. It's Oswald, right? No, it's Vanheim. Not Vanheim. Yeah, Vanheim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Went to
Yeah,
Vanheim.
you're getting there.
We went to Vanheim, and when we sent Trin out, because he was going to talk to the Inquisition to figure out what the plan was, when he got there, long
That
story...
didn't happen.
He went to the church to talk with
Yes,
Everybody but you did.
No, I said Trin did.
No, we all did, except for you.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just Trent.
All right, well, because Trin was the primary person engaging with it, and he was also the person that talked with everybody, too. When you engaged with them, conversation-wise, they admitted that basically that they lost all their leads, and a mistake was made. And we find out later that basically a mistake was made, and we don't know where he is, and we don't know where we can engage him or anything like that. Tirathan. And so then we all got gathered together and decided that we're going to go attempt to try to locate him. We're getting paid for that too.
Well, more importantly, we know that there's a dragon tomb there somewhere in Old Vanheim.
That was
Right.
So we're trying
So we
two
want to
guys
go
with
there
one stone.
anyway.
Well, it's one of the added reasons.
Yeah.
I just hadn't got to there yet.
And
would it be beneficial to scry on him then? Or is it taking a risk that he'll be able to see invisibility?
Well,
And
the way I see it, he already knows we're coming.
That's true.
and there's always
That's
the
a lot of
risk.
those
he
lines.
directly works for Riven, and we're already on Riven's radar, so it's not like we're.
Yeah, and the last bit of intelligence we had was that he was heading into Old Vanheim.
They tried to intercept him on the way there. They assumed.
Yeah, and they failed terribly because they're incompetent
Because they're not
inquisitioners.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, and so we went back to plan at the inn, and that's where we met up with our little dwarven ranger friend. And he was like, "Yeah, you guys were gonna hire me, and I'm really drunk. Well, I'm always drunk."
He's a dwarf. He was like, just fine.
Yeah.
So we paid him, and then he told us the best time to go was during nighttime. And that's when we all decided to gather up and venture out.
Alright, sweet.
And you said nighttime was going to grant you the best possibility of evading their sentries.
Yes.
While we're
But
waiting
you also said
for-
you're going to have to do swimming.
That was said, yes.
Yeah, much swimming. More
Much
better.
swimming, much woe.
So while we're waiting for nighttime, should we scry on him?
Yes.
We
I think
can.
it's a great idea.
I am selfishly a little excited to use this thing.
I'm excited to see it.
Perhaps in the bedroom where we won't be interrupted.
Privacy would be lovely.
What, Tren?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Fair.
You're right. To the bedroom.
Godric, we're going to do magic. You coming?
We hadn't left yet. I was waiting for everyone to leave.
No, I'm asking if you're coming into the room to do the scry, or are you going to stay out here drinking?
Probably gonna come into the room for the magic.
All right.
Just in case. I don't want to be left out just in case things go wrong and I have to hit something.
I think he knows how scrying works.
Yes, because I know how it works because I'm a mage. Or a wizard or anything of that kind.
If it makes you feel
No, you're
better,
not.
I think we've scryed the same number of times so far.
Once?
I think
I'm kidding.
All right, I'm going to go. We'll head up into one of our rooms. I'll go sit kind of crisscross on the bed and pull out the orb.
Okay.
Crisscross, applesauce.
All right.
Let's see here.
When she is about to complete the spell, I'm going to cast Protection from Good and Evil on her.
Okay.
Just to ward you.
Okay.
So I'll kind of supplement as you're prepping to cast the spell with some of my own incenses and with my holy symbol laid out on the floor as well.
All right. So, all right. So, who are you looking for? And what do you know about them?
So I want to scry on Terrowyn.
Mhm.
I for sure know what he looks like.
Mhm.
But I don't think I necessarily have. Like, I don't have anything he owns or anything like that.
Do you have any effects from the spy?
No,
There might be a connection there. Nothing?
I don't have any effects. No. Just memories that I'll treasure forever. That's it.
Are you okay, Tren?
What was I supposed to take from him? A body part?
Maybe.
That would help a lot.
Some
but
correspondence?
I don't think we would have had a
Maybe-
chance.
I don't know if you remember, but I was kind of like on the anti-death part of that whole conversation.
Yeah, then take a pinky. He doesn't need that to live.
I didn't
Or a
foresee the need of body parts.
It's fine.
Jeez.
I think you'll be able to pull it off. Just you've seen his face, right?
Yes.
Oh, Tirothan?
Mm-hmm.
None of you have seen Tirothan.
He has.
I have.
Yeah, but that doesn't translate to her.
Yeah,
She's
that
casting
doesn't-
the spell.
He's one.
Oh, because you only saw him through them.
I saw him through the
I
portal.
saw him in the guy's, the spy in like his memories and stuff. Does that count?
Did you?
When I read his mind?
Yeah.
I don't know if that
I
would
don't
count or
remember
not.
if you did that or not, but I guess you did.
Yeah.
The mind read?
Yeah, because I
You
knew
definitely did that.
because I knew what Tirothan looked
Could
like
you-
before Trin saw him.
Could you
in the
draw
mirror.
or sketch him out for Katarina, Trin?
Well, she saw him. I
I'm-
forgot she might.
On the off chance she didn't see
Okay,
him. I'm
well,
saying
so
just that.
far, Tirothan's at a +5 because you only know him secondhand to his
Yes.
saving throw.
But I do believe that
so
I
now
know
he's
what
at-
he looks
He is
like.
at, so now that would be changed to a +3 because
Mhm.
you know his likeness and his picture.
Yeah.
You don't have any of his belongings, possessions, or garments.
Mm-mm.
So he gets a +3 to this saving throw.
Yes.
Okay. Go grab Tirothan's.
Well, maybe
stats
it's
real quick.
bad at magic, and he'll be able to be seen. I'm getting anxious.
What's upsetting you, Trin?
I don't know. I just remember that there's been problems
pretty
previously,
close.
especially in this region, when
That's what
using
you're smiling.
spells like scrying. Like, remember vampires and stuff.
I don't know what happened, but it must have been good.
Godric and I have been working on a few things.
We're trying to get more what's the word, personable, I think is what you said.
No, that's not it at all.
Friendly?
Tactical.
Smarter?
Pragmatic.
We don't have a
That's closer.
problem with pragmatism.
Yes, we do.
Wait,
We're too pragmatic.
a better time when to break someone's legs.
More like a more cleaner way of doing it.
Potato, tomato.
And it's a
Potato, tomato, exactly.
wisdom 17.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It's pretty high.
Well, Theon, are you worried
with a +3, it's gonna be pretty close. So
that the vampires might detect it or something and show up in the room like
with a
last time?
+3, it is pretty
There's
close.
a possibility they could intercept, though we aren't
Um,
scrying the vampires. But Tirthan has powerful magic capabilities, and so does Riven, so I'll be protecting you nonetheless.
From one of my sleeve pockets, I pulled a bell. If we can have one of these, I'm sure they can figure
Okay.
something out similar.
Maybe they want us to find out.
Godric, I know
Maybe
that you're
this is all
bored,
part
but
of his
please
plan.
stop the fidgeting. It can ruin concentration.
If he does see you, just... It doesn't matter. He knows we're looking for him.
So he needs a 12 or higher.
Okay,
He
okay,
needs a 12 or higher
okay.
on the D20.
Okay.
Good odds.
12 or
Okay.
higher.
Okay.
Um,
I'll join our favor.
yeah.
Good odds.
Yeah.
So he needs a
Okay.
12 or higher.
Better than half?
Yahtzee!
Woo!
I can't read it.
I also...
But everyone else is cheering.
He rolled a 7.
I could tell it was in single digits, so we were good to go.
Yeah.
But I also
Okay.
I have true sight for a radius of 120 feet from where the sensor is.
God, that is
And because he rolled a 7, that's the lucky number. No, 12 should be the lucky number of the night, because that's the
Wow.
number we need.
Because that's what he needed. And
Yeah.
Because
so-
then he would have been a lot
Um,
luckier if he had rolled a 12.
You can see and hear through the sensors. If you were there, the sensor moves with the target remaining within 10 feet of it for the duration. A creature that can see invisible objects
That's really
sees the
creepy.
sensor in the luminous orb about the size of your fist. Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose a location you've seen before as a target of the spell. Okay, so
Just realized we left the dwarf out
casting
there.
time
on his
takes
own.
10 minutes.
No,
No,
I told
you
him
guys-
I'd be back.
You guys are already done. He has to go get ready anyways.
Yeah, we told him we'd meet him at one of the bridges
Mhm.
at sunset.
Oh, yeah. I mean, him
And
some
you
drinking.
specified sunset this night.
Yep.
Dwarves are known for being very late all the time. Terrible time management.
It's true.
I had heard. In my experience,
it's
they're
till
very
the time from the
fastidious.
sun.
I thought dwarves
Underground.
arrived
Alright,
precisely
so-
when they mean to.
No, that's wizards.
Oh, that's really funny. That's funny.
Funny,
I just-
haha.
Yeah, it's funny, haha, because I just realized that because you have the Orb of Scrying, that's the only way you can cast that spell as a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. This just occurred to me when I was
Pretty
looking
cool.
at classes.
Pretty freaking rad.
Suddenly, all those internet posts of I gave my character or one of my players a really bad line, and I want to take it back.
No, it's not. I don't think it's that powerful. I mean, it's a saving throw. If it didn't require a saving throw, I think it'd be pretty strong.
If it was
Yeah.
like an insta scry.
Yeah, exactly. If it was just like I cast
Then it
spell
would be-
see
Like,
things.
I use
that'd
my
be a
orb of
problem.
bullshit and see through the future.
My orb of Google Maps.
Yeah.
Exactly, my orb of Google Maps. So
I have that spell.
Especially
I
because
have-
it has no limit on how many times you can
I
do
I
it.
have a Google Maps spell.
yeah, no, it doesn't. No,
Yeah,
you can do it.
Just don't be a piece of crap player and just like, oh, now I'm gonna try this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole session is just going to be me scrying on different people today.
Sounds
All right,
great.
yeah,
I hope you have a list of what everyone we ever have met is doing right now.
No, but it's really easy for me to lie about it.
Your orb overheats.
Are you saying
Yeah,
they're
shuts
not
down on its own.
real?
Listen, this is all made up.
The whole illusion is
No,
broken down.
don't pull away
Exactly.
the curtains. I
Orbs-
like the curtains.
Orbs
Don't worry.
get Blue screens.
It'll
of
come
death.
back when you get hit with another spell, okay? It'll all come crashing back down
When I
to
just-
reality.
Barely dodge a disintegration.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that was good.
That was insane.
That was great.
So what does it look like when you're using the orb then? Like what happens here with this magic item?
I think that when I start casting the spell, my eyes are going to start closed. And then if it didn't connect, nothing would really happen. But as soon as it connects, I think my eyes are going to snap open and be like pitch black. and the orb is kind of going to also become pitch black. It's usually kind of smoky and swirly. It'll become pitch black, and I think the shadows in the room will just get a little bit darker.
I'm feeling a real command word embrace eternity feel here.
Oh, jeez.
Seance vibes.
Are
Exactly.
are her eyes supposed to do that?
The haunted
Absolutely.
So
Weird.
No, Gondrick, it's magic.
So the orb, the swirling mist that kind of exists within inside this crystal sphere, begins to kind of coalesce and change, and you guys see like kind of a light, radiating light kind of coming from it. And you assume that there's something appearing in the orb, but none of you except for Katarina can actually see what it's showing her. As almost as if being newly born, or as if you're opening your own eyes for the first time, you find yourself in a space. It's some sort of large room, maybe some sort of ancient ruins or some sort of ruins, something left over from an age past. Inside is dimly lit by soft, kind of greenish lights cascading through these mists that are swirling in the room. In the center of it, you see a dragonborn, a black dragonborn, kind of kneeling and bowing his head. And he's conversing with somebody. Can you hear what he's being said? You see
yes,
and hear
you
through
can
the
see
sensor.
and
Okay.
hear through it.
Yeah. So you kind of, it's focused on him, and he speaks aloud, very, very thoughtfully. There's almost maybe a slight tremoring to his voice. And then he looks up at somebody on the opposite end of the room. And then Tirathan speaks. But my lord, we know where they are. Why not simply strike at them now? And then you hear Riven. No, now is not the right time to strike at them. We are laying an especially elaborate and long trap that they should soon find themselves stepping inside. We already know the locations of most of these tombs of the Dragon Knights. They will be contested, and they will feel as though they are completing their objectives, all the while slowly working their way towards us. Tirathan speaks again. If you say so, my lord. Our spies have reported back to us. And our interrogators who captured the Imperial Inquisitor have been putting him through his paces. He has given us quite a bit of information. It's interesting how these human men of faith so quickly dissipate or lose such faith in the presence of real divine power. Tiamat's brand works as it always has. What should we do with him after we are done? I think that we can use him to our advantage. Let me think on this. He could be a useful piece to put somewhere else, especially marked as such he is. Maybe we send him to Conewald and put him in the court near somebody important. Then you hear something shift. This massive, bulky creature kind of moves in the shadows outside of your sight. And you hear rubble like crumble down and fall. And you kind of look up, and you can see that this is outside. Like they're somewhere in an outdoor location. They're these broken, worn down, wasted columns, overgrown, with trees and roots and greenery. Somewhere deep in some ancient forest or some lost location. As you're observing, another dragonborn approaches. This one, the blue one. And he comes in and he bows. Lord Tirthan, we have reports. There is a strong lead from our spies in Kondwald and Kriat. We may have found a room or two, the Dragon's Crown. Shall I investigate and send our men there? And he hands him a scroll. And Tirthan grabs it, opens it, starts reading. Yes, send someone there immediately to investigate. We must find this. Without the Dragon's Crown, we will not be able to bring Takisis back. It was instrumental as a material object in her sealing, as it were. But once we find it, there will be nothing standing between us unleashing her on the mortal world. And we will once again bathe all the lands in war and fire. That is, as long as Andrakar says so. Have we heard from him, Brivin? And you just hear like a large breath being like exhaled. And Riven speaks. I have heard from Andrakar. First step is undermining the Lindstadt Confederacy. Then next, well, more instructions will be to follow. Either way, I'll go tired, so be gone. Go now and be more careful. And then the scry spell ends.
All right, yeah, I'll tell them everything that happened.
So, were you able to? I don't know how it works, but could you like read the thing he was looking at?
Sort of. What did the scroll that he was reading?
Just look like a parchment. Like a letter.
It was just a letter about whatever information they had about Conwald or Kriot, whatever this.
Do you
whatever they think this crown is.
Do you speak and read Draconic?
No.
Yeah. Then you have no idea what it said.
I couldn't read it, but I assume it's something along those lines.
Could you? I don't know if it would work. Could you write it down?
I don't think I'd be able to remember it well enough.
Fair enough. Because the way they're talking about the Dragon's Crown, that sounds like we need to get that first. If our goal is to stop the Kisis, that is needed.
Well, that's all well and good, but where's it at? Is it in a tomb?
I'm assuming not.
It sounds like they don't even know where it is.
Since they have leads.
Yeah.
But in
And when we take that paper off of
Conwald.
his corpse, we'll have the same leads.
More or less, yes.
Perfect.
Did you... Well, here's probably a better question. Did you recognize any markings or architecture or anything like that might indicate where he's at? Like, does it look like a Vanheim or an old Vanheim type space?
Did the trees and greenery and stuff, did it look similar to stuff we've been seeing the whole time we've been here? Does it look Bravashan at least? Or does it look totally different?
The woods and growth around the wherever ruins they are seems like it could be within the borders of Bravadus, possibly, but realistically it could just be any forest anywhere. It's dark. All the stuff that you could pick up from the lighting was very minimal based on what was being provided. There was almost a fading or unnatural lighting or darkness to the space that was keeping some of the details obscured but wasn't actively working against you or the spell. It's hard to say. The architecture looked human.
I didn't see anything to rule out Old Vanheim, but I can't necessarily for certain say that that's where they are.
What is Tiamat's brand?
What's her brand in this world?
No, specifically they listed, or they said that the Inquisitor was branded by Tiamat's brand.
Mm-hmm.
That like works every time.
Make a religion check for me.
Sounds like a fucked up zone of truth type of thing.
I got a 24.
Based on like the mythos and the legends surrounding her powers, and much to many other deities and like supernatural powers, her brand is basically a magical marking that allows her to dominate the minds of the individuals that she are underneath her sway. Basically, it's a slow form of indoctrination that brings them to her power.
Have I seen like the Dark Elves use anything like this?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any idea how I could cleanse one if I had to?
You're not really sure?
Okay.
There's more than likely a way, but there's nothing written about how to undo them or do anything like that. So rituals of cleansing or a powerful divine intervention of some sort just in general could lift it, remove it. It's not necessarily a curse per se, although people who don't want it probably consider it a curse. You're sure there's more than likely a way, but you don't remember reading anything about how to get around it, remove it, counter it.
Right.
What Inquisitor could they be talking about?
Oh, you must not have been paying attention. Remember the two Inquisitors we met before we left for the Tower of Fell Bats?
Right.
Yes. The younger of the two was missing.
Ah.
I have a question, Ulthian. I know you've done it in the past and even gotten help from your gods, or even asked for their guidance or use your power to. Could you attempt to find the Dragon's Crown? I truly don't know what you can do, like when it comes to that.
No, I wouldn't attempt to, but I could seek out the help of the Seldarine. The problem is this is largely a human affair historically, so wherever it's buried is a human location, when whatever spells were cast, likely cast by humans. I don't know how much the elves can help, if they can see that far or anything.
When it's involving the entire resurrection of Takesis, they might care.
Well, it's not the issue of them caring, it's the limitations of their sight. Gods are seemingly all-powerful to us, but the truth is they have their limitations. I'm not against trying, we'll have to gather some more information first.
I just wanted to bring it up as options, because
This is a good question.
with everything that's going on, I want to make sure we're talking about it.
Very smart.
I'm gonna pick my oar back up. Aramis, do you know anything about where the Dragon's Crown could be?
Aramis, that's the soul trapped in the orb.
Right. I'm sure that's even too far back for him, but maybe he knows something.
So the orb kind of begins emitting a gentle light again. And so it begins emitting a gentle light again, and you hear Aramis's voice inside your head. and the dragon's crown was once used to, I believe, theoretically, was used as a component of her sealing in Avernus. But before then, it was a divine gift from Tiamat herself, crowning Takhisis' right to rule over chromatic dragons. Its location has been lost to history for thousands of years.
I figured that was the answer. Just thought I'd check.
It could, for all we know, just be a symbolic tool. Once the chromatic dragons see the crown, they would swear fealty, maybe. Either way, yes, it's been on our radar for a while.
Well,
No one? Radar is an elven bowl. Basically, we can use it to detect our surroundings a bit better.
Well, I'm sure we call that ears.
Okay.
but it sounds like this dragon too may be part of this elaborate trap they were talking about. But also, it feels like it's still important to know whatever might be there, even though it is contested, as they said.
Well, the problem is we still have to go there.
Well, as we see more of the visions from the old Dragon Knights, we may learn more information about the Dragon Crown as well.
Ah, you suspect we'll see another vision.
I assume so.
Interesting.
I can't help but wonder if maybe if there's secrets there, maybe they predicted that, these darker forces may come looking one day. Maybe because we're not them, we'll be able to discover something that they don't even or aren't even aware is there.
Well, Riven is a dragon and should not be underestimated, but then again, he's going to underestimate us severely because we aren't dragons. We know what we need to do. This doesn't change much for us. It just instills a little bit of caution. Personally, I don't think that Old Vanheim is the trap. I have a suspicion that it's Dragon the Forge, that they may already know the location.
The question is how? Well, they could learn the location but not get in, because that's the whole point, is we're getting all the keys to get in.
Sort of, yes.
Oh, I could be going off memory here, and, well, my memory's not the best, so...
If you're trying to keep a secret, then you let somebody else do all the work, especially if you know where to find them once they're done.
Oh. Interesting.
Is it possible that the Forge is where the crown is?
Possible, but unlikely.
If they can't get in because they don't have the keys, it might be a great place to lock it up.
Well, also at this point, they don't necessarily know that we're aware that it's a trap, and back to that underestimating thing, just knowing what we're walking into gives us an advantage. Even if we don't know what that thing is.
So then the plan is still to go to Old Vanheim, right?
Absolutely.
I think so.
And hopefully find out. Maybe we can find Terrowyn and get the scroll and get the lead still. Maybe.
Oh no, I distinctly get the feeling that he's come and gone already.
Probably.
It's likely. Doesn't matter. We have to get down to Old Vanheim regardless. If we can take Terrowyn, all the better, but if we can't, we have other information to gather.
Agreed.
Then are we ready?
Well, Theon, somewhat familiar with dragons and their abilities.
Yes.
Is there any reason why Riven wouldn't have seen her scrying eye?
Oh, you see, I thought about that myself too, and he might have, but Riven
is
wouldn't
he-
have controlled the messenger coming up, giving information. Anything out of Riven's mouth wouldn't be trustable, but the rest could be.
So he's
And
allowing us to watch his.
If he saw it. The thing is scrying magics are so effective because you can simply target the weakest willed person in the room and see everything they see and hear everything they hear. It's possible the dragon wasn't looking because he's not afraid of us.
Okay.
They're a prideful lot, the dragons. It's hard not to be when you're that large, that rich, and that powerful.
That's true. Well, if he did see, he's allowing us to watch his lieutenant. And he presumably didn't warn him, or he would have shut down the conversation.
Oh, he's warning him now.
Maybe. But I didn't expect our surprise to last long either way.
It did seem like they know where we are. So I don't think us going to Old Vanheim is a surprise to them anyways.
Well, it's not like we've been subtle or secretive.
And you said they're trying to
Blow up a tower.
From here on out, every tomb we go to is going to be laden with dangers and traps besides what was already there.
Possible.
It's possible. It sounded like, at least if that information is reliable, they knew where most of them were.
Well, then they'll be making our life hard either way.
I guess we'll just have to try to find a way to enjoy it.
I think
I'll be hitting things that hopefully aren't dead. I know I'm enjoying it.
breaking some cultists might bring me a little satisfaction.
Well, also,
You've been hanging out with me a lot.
knowing that it's going to be like traps and contested, they're going to be looking for feedback for when we fail. So we may be able to take advantage of that and, their communication, because they're going to expect us to show up. They're going to expect feedback. Eventually, they're probably planning we're going to fail, and maybe we can capitalize that on that in some way. Send them misinformation.
Interesting, Trent.
Interesting
Good idea.
So maybe we don't kill everyone. Plan ahead.
I will try my best.
We gotta make it convincing after all.
A broken leg, maybe a missing jaw,
Death is not the only justice. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
And maybe I could use some of these powers instead of, trying to just stop people and prevent them from being killed, and then they just get blown away anyway. Maybe I can just use it on, some foot soldiers to send some information unwittingly. That the level of control of some of my spells can be useful in that regard.
And if we can capture one, we might be able to get information from them also.
Sounds like we want to take one alive then.
Well, let's try to knock them all out so we don't keep only one alive that's totally irrelevant and doesn't know anything.
We had discussed maybe capturing Terrowyn alive.
Yes, that was the plan from the beginning.
Maybe if we do enter combat, we take a moment to try and suss out who's important and might know things that we can take advantage of. Who's wearing the medals.
Fantastic idea, Tren. Perhaps strategize a little?
Isn't this what we're doing?
Yes.
A few more hours before sunset.
I'm going to kind of plop down as we're talking, and I'm going to start running the runes across Gwendolyn while we're continuing to talk.
On our escape, if we should need to make a speedy one. I could...
Have a spell?
Well, there's a couple of options. I could do a teleportation circle that will get us back to Valaria or to Greencrest.
How long does that take to cast?
It wouldn't be as speedy as... Possibly I could make most of us fly. But I don't have enough power to affect the spell on all of us at once.
Could you make most of us fly for a significant period of time, or is it just enough to get out of there and then...
20 minutes.
20 minutes? You can get pretty far in 20 minutes.
Maybe make the largest of us fly, and Godric could carry Trin or something.
I'll try will protect me.
Is that how that works?
I'll
He
escape.
could carry you and fly, yes.
I could pick up train. I mean, unless... You what? I'm sorry. I ignored you. Try again.
He was saying he'll lay down his life if he has to.
That's not what I was saying at all. I have no plans on dying.
I know.
I'm saying Alatari will protect me.
We'll.
It's kind of hard to say anything.
I don't
About
like
that.
the idea of leaving any of us behind. Should that be the
Agreed.
need, but
But if we had to, I wouldn't be alone.
all right. Well, it would be one short. Assuming since our ranger fellow is not going in with us, he'll escape on his own just fine.
He's gonna get this in, and then we're gonna go what we do what we do, which is make thunder and then make dangerous.
Okay.
Is that why we call it Thunder Dangerous? It's a broken form of common
I
because
don't know.
the barbarian
Well,
can't speak it very well.
It's largely because the two of them.
We make a lot of thunder.
Lightning, thunder, dangerous.
I honestly don't recall where the name came from.
Sometimes
It's action oriented.
You know, in
Should
Eldor, we come
should
up
it
with
occur
much
that we have to
cooler
flee?
names.
How would you intend to escape if it came down to that?
Spectacularly?
Well, can't argue with that. Sounds like a solid plan.
I
No,
would not
I'm
intend to do
expecting-
anything other than Alatrari's will.
I'm expecting to say something about, oh, elves are graceful and they can outmaneuver the lesser races because he's had 100 years to practice his jogging technique.
It's not a lot of time to practice.
Yeah. That.
You need at least 200 or 300 years before you can be considered graceful.
Well, I'll never be graceful then.
no, we just develop faster than elves.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
You really
Well,
don't.
I developed faster than all of you. I was a grown man at the age of 12.
So was I.
No, like, developmental wise.
Yeah, no, I haven't increased since 12.
Yeah,
It's about the
just-
same.
You just got really big real fast.
So you've been this. So you're telling me you've been this size for the last 6 months?
I popped out like this.
6 months ago.
No.
I'm trying
Well-
to say you're still a child.
Well, I imagine that's how Goliaths pop out. Like when they were really originally made, like a really big fire giant and a really horny human. And then the baby's just enormous and ugly and covered with that goo they get born in. But then it burns off because of the fire giant stuff.
This mental imagery is not a path I wish to tread down tonight, Tren.
Okay?
I understand that both my parents were Goliaths.
Yeah, but like way, way back. You're like great grandpappy was a gross, ugly baby from a giant and a human.
Might not have been a human. Looking at Godric, it could have been a troll, maybe an ogre. They're both very strong.
That's hurtful.
I'm sorry, which part? The troll or the ogre?
Both.
But they're both very strong.
And they're both very ugly. You just call me ugly? Because that's hurtful.
Well,
wow.
not you specifically, mostly just like all Goliaths are ugly.
No, they're
I
not.
think we just got a glimpse at Godric's vanity. It's okay, Godric. I'm sure you're very handsome for a Goliath.
Yes, for a Goliath.
I'm being
The
attacked.
qualifiers aren't necessary, I don't think.
Oh, I'm just not really all that into Goliaths.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't make me, like,
Well-
recoil from your visage.
No, you have a thing for dragons.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Can you
dragons.
blame me?
Dragons have a thing for Tren.
It's a give and take.
Anyway, enough about how good I look. Maybe
And
we
you
should
do
go
look
meet
good.
up with that.
Have you tried a new grease in your hair?
Oh, I'm always experimenting. It's like a yeast. You know, it's like a sourdough where you got
Right.
the base and then it grows and changes over time, but then you want to keep the best sample.
Are we talking about the gel you're using? Or are we talking about
The jelly
process
parts of the
itself?
gel.
Right. I'm simply stating that your hair
I'm
is
going to
done a
go
little
study.
differently today, and I like it.
I've been experimenting.
All right, let's get a little bit of time. I say let's prep.
Aren't we prepping now?
No, I meant I'm going to go get more drunk. I walk out of the room.
That's not prepping.
It is for me.
All right, fair enough.
I hear you shouldn't swim if you've had 3 kegs of ale.
No one should do anything after 3 kegs of ale.
I don't think I could do anything after 3 kegs of ale.
Yeah, well, I kind of scaled it up for.
Alright. So, what time did you guys? How long did you want to give yourselves to like rest and prep at this point? Because he did say after sunset, but he didn't say specifically when after sunset. So,
Do you want me to empower you?
you know, more than likely, obviously after
Thank you.
it's dark.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
I will. I'm gonna pop over to Trin, and I'll. Trin, what weapon do you primarily use? Before we venture out.
My words.
Yes, write the runes across his throat.
It doesn't work like that.
Well, my guitar.
Weapon.
Well, this. And I hold up my flying saber.
Well, I could maybe make it better for a time. I can do the same thing I do with my runes on my blade.
Why don't
Well, you
do that?
are a smith, but this was pretty elegantly crafted. You sure you can handle it?
Absolutely.
Why don't you just mark the runes on your other weapon?
Because I marked Gwendolyn, and then now I
well,
want
you
to make
use
sure.
them.
I can only use one. Huh?
No, you can only use one of them once a day.
Yeah.
In the first fight.
Yeah, and I used fire on Gwendolyn. I was going to use the cold on.
You said runes, so I assumed you used both. This is why you shouldn't use words like runes, because that's incorrect. You should say, I use my magic whetstone of
Oh.
fire to do this. So I assumed you did both of them.
Okay, well, then never mind.
No, because they're whetstones. They're gnomish whetstones.
Yes, well, then never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry,
You super
Trin.
buffed.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn.
I already did it.
Yes, Gwendolyn's
sorry.
going to hit and do a lot of different stuff.
I thought I couldn't put both on one weapon.
You can.
Oh.
I just said it's more than likely unnecessary to do both on one weapon, because you could do one on yours and one on another person's, and yeah, you can't. You can do it on multiples on one.
I have to double check stuff. I thought the paperwork said I couldn't. But... All right, never mind then.
If it doesn't, then that's fine. Then you only used one of them.
It's fine.
But I can't. It's been so long since I've read that homebrew item. I can't remember at this moment.
So we discuss a lot of things in life,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna be scrolling for a second. I
Yeah,
really
it's
should.
like who's getting
I need to save that photo.
who's
again.
getting milk next, how my runes work, what my next character might be.
About 11.
What is your next
Dreams.
character going to be after you die tonight?
Well, I can't say it now because it's a surprise.
It's Boren Hillstone.
That's great.
Nice.
It's Terrowyn Hillstone,
Terrowyn,
yeah, my alternate personality for Trin.
Yeah.
It's actually based
He
off
joins
a
the
real
group
dwarf.
because he's been following around this party going, who's impersonating me?
Yeah.
That would be the greatest new character ever. I love that.
All right.
It's not actually that.
I know.
It's a surprise.
I got you.
Oh God, I just remembered.
All right, is there anything else important that you guys need to do before you head out?
Find a way to hide from 2 natural 20s that you still possess.
You do have auto crits.
I have 2 of them.
He has 2 of them.
It's alright, we're gonna be fine.
Gosh.
I'm good.
Anything? Nothing.
I did all my rooms. I did my magic. I did my attunements.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sorted all of our magic items.
yeah.
I could use
I'm
a
going
reminder.
to unattune to the crystal ball
Sure
and
thing.
attune to the staff just for while we're probably combating.
Oh,
Yeah, that
this-
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else need to unattune to anything and reattune to something else?
No.
You sure?
I'm going to.
I use this time to attune to my new item.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm gonna take my belt of potions, and I'm gonna put my 3 potions in that belt.
Oh, I will be taking off a lot of my excess stuff because we're supposed to be going into this a lot lighter than before. So I'm gonna make sure I take off the extra belt of axes. I'm gonna make sure I have 1 supreme potion on hand. No, 2 tucked away so they're less likely to break.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna give all my stuff to be put in the box, bag holding, or leave here.
Okay.
We do have to kind of lighten the load on this adventure.
So if we tuck away, if we don't have the potions directly on us, for fast grabbing,
Mhm.
then it's not a bonus action.
It's a
just-
full action to use it, yeah.
Okay.
It's a full action to dig into your pack, assuming your pack is even with you, and get it. Anything that's not on your anything that you're not carrying on your person that I'm assuming reasonably is within reach, it takes an action to use.
Oh my god.
Of course, I might come across potions case by case where I have them set as an action for balance reasons, but we can approach those as they come up.
Gotcha.
But just about anything can
Hey,
be used as a
Godbo,
bonus
thanks
action.
for the raid.
Woo! Thank you for the raid.
That includes things like potions of giant strength and all that stuff.
Very cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's been a long
So-
time since I've used those runes because I thought they were like one item.
No, it's two separate ones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, you got a whetstone for cold and a magic whetstone that applies fire
Yeah.
damage.
Frost and fire.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stow.
And it's what, a D4, right?
It does plus 1d4 per attack
Yes, of the elemental,
Of
associated
your-
elemental
yep.
type.
of your first encounter,
For your first encounter, yeah.
and they recharge every long rest.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stow away like a lot of my extras, but just junk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Leather armor +2, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna put that all up in the room.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna have my action gear.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's about it.
How'd your D&D sesh go? Was it good? Was it fun? Hope it was.
I hope it was fun. It should be fun. D&D is awesome. The party's actually getting ready. Last minute preparations actually just go
We're gonna go
Kill
kick down
some-
a door.
punk some fools right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, about to murder 'em. So-
Murder!
Well, no, not
Murder.
knock out some of them and then use them as a terrorist plot against their own organization.
And then
Yeah.
murder all the ones we don't need.
Ninja bomb.
Yeah, and then murder
Yeah, absolutely.
ruthlessly. You know, they'll be like, I have a wife and children. Well, that's too bad.
I didn't want to know that. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Now I'm viewing
I
you
know
as
it
a person.
sounds like my party's murder hobos, but I promise that's not the case.
No, it's not.
I wasn't paying attention. Did you say murder? Oh man, what are we doing?
We'll get you the
And
deets after the
stealing.
show. It's not about D&D.
When I go somewhere and I hit some people, you're not allowed to
I
ask
was really hoping for a
anybody.
non-murder weekend, but all right.
That's so
I'm so sick of
Well, you were wrong.
I just,
I treat murder like moving. Every one of my friends gets one.
I live
Okay.
on something called speed vision. It's the most handiest thing. to do.
So it doesn't say in there, right, that you're limited?
No.
Okay,
So I
that's
can
what
use
I
it. So
thought.
Gwendolyn is double buff tonight.
Yes.
Double buff.
Nice.
Yes.
That's sick.
Which God, why did you? I gotta find another. Can you hand me 2d4 so I don't have to reach?
I can probably hand you 2d4.
Yes, please.
Once you said please. Oh,
I
there
could
you go.
throw 2d4.
There you
That
go.
may subsequently end up on the
Look
floor.
at you.
And that kind of rhymes.
Wow, no, you just sunk it into nowhere.
That was an incredible shot, all things considered.
Yeah. All
Yep,
things
what I
considered.
get?
4?
Left. Towards you. There it is.
See, you're trying to be helpful.
Oh, no, your
The
other
other
left.
blue one?
No, your other left.
What other
What?
blue one?
There should be like one more
The
option.
stage
blue one.
left on the boot deck.
So I have my brain has a distinction between
Um,
fire
it.
and ice. So that way
Yeah.
when I roll them,
I have a distinction between fire and ice. They'll both
Isn't that a
burn.
song?
They both burn. That's great. That's great.
All right. So we've done all of our
Yep.
prepping, grabbing things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I change nothing about this
Because you're perfect.
You are
all
pretty
the time.
because I am
Change.
perfect as I am.
But
You're
yeah,
perfect as you
An
are.
instrument of the Seldarine.
I take up my belt of
Yeah, so-
of axes and I don't put them in a chest. I'm just gonna throw them out the window.
Wow.
Nice. I like it. You hear somebody outside. Oh, what is that? Why are they throwing things out the window?
Could have donated that to the
Anyways.
Adventurers
Some small
Guild.
child starts crying. Yeah.
An adventurer in need.
Someone who needs them will find them.
I do believe he just donated them to the general public.
Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah,
or at
no.
least any of them that went directly underneath the window.
There's now a hatchet gang in this town.
Godrica's funded a
We
hatchet
come
gang.
back in a few months and it's just absolute
anarchy.
chaos.
I don't know why, but I'm definitely there's just 6 guys just snapping their fingers, swinging a hatchet around, just fucking walking through the fucking alleys.
Gang fights.
It's fantastic.
You started the Hatchet Gang.
It's like our decisions really matter,
A
guys.
hatchet
They
gang.
do matter. You guys are causing problems for the
Yeah.
local police.
Right?
We can
The
start a
ultimate-
hatchet gang if we want
Yeah,
to.
the ultimate version of play the game, affect the world.
Yeah,
Your
those weapons-
decisions impact the end of the
Weapons can all be
game.
Oh, that's
magically
what I was
transferred
doing.
to you.
Connecting the thingamabobbers. My bad.
Oh, Roy.
I got my song.
So you guys like, are any of you actually gonna bring like your your gear with you, like your gear packs and stuff with you?
I've got my stuff. I don't carry a ton of stuff anyways, so I can just bring all mine with me.
I will be for sure
good.
be bringing the dungeon kits that have the hemp sacks and the iron spikes and stuff.
Okay.
I'll bring one of those.
One of the Dungeoneers kits?
One dungeoneer kit. I'll ask if anyone else wants to bring one because I have another.
I'm leaving any of my like camping gear, and then just extra stuff I don't use.
Hey, thanks for the sub to our YouTube. God, man, I appreciate it.
Hey!
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
You know what, God Mode? Drop a link in our chat too.
Yeah, we'll go follow you as well.
Do it.
He might
If
be
you're
denied
allowed
his
to.
link
Why?
because we don't allow link share.
Well, we have a kobold who's going to allow it.
Yeah.
Message the channel.
Or,
the
you know what,
link.
actually better yet, because it's just a more permanent spot, jump into our Discord and put a link there.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we have a shout out button. I forgot. We're all
Yeah.
special.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, see, our kobold is smarter than you. Kobolds are smarter than Goliaths.
Yeah.
For sure.
Kobolds are smart. That's why they live.
Yeah, definitely ingenuitive.
Did it just
Yes.
get dimmer in here?
It sure
No,
did.
it didn't get darker like our death is coming. You just make sure the walls are real.
Steadying myself.
For what?
Alright.
From the fear of the unknown.
That was pretty good.
Off to kill some people, off to dismember people.
You hope that people.
So you leave the safety and comfort of the inn and head through Vanheim city streets, across to the eastern wall to meet him.
My magic hood.
Magic hood up. Alright, you guys heard it here first. The elf is wearing his magic hood.
I see him
Got
do
it.
it, and I put my cloak up on my displacer cloak too.
Yeah.
Locke puts his hood up.
My magic cloak, bros.
Yeah.
Bunch of edgy motherfuckers.
Puts his collar up.
Oh, now he's looking fly.
Godric straightens his beard.
Yeah. your chops.
Chops.
Your mutton
My
chops.
large, actually relatively long now mutton
You bite
chops
your
and
beak?
stubble.
Gross.
You see the white stubble is slowly going back because I haven't shaved in a while. We've been doing stuff for 2 months.
You're around sharp objects all day long.
It's not naturally brewed that way.
So, doing a little bit of investigation, you find your way along the far east wall of the city and find a fairly, actually, minimally guarded, like, Sally Gate that from the outside leads to a footpath that goes down to the shore of the river. And there, by, like, a jetty, this kind of rickety old set of docks and that are worn out and collapsing, you see your dwarven ranger, your guide. No, you sound it out and search it up in Google.
Jetty? Is it
Yeah.
jetty? Okay.
I love how you knew.
And he has a fairly long riverboat.
It's a dropship platform.
Anyways,
Is that
Use your
jetty with
context
a
clues.
T?
Use your context clues.
use your context clues.
Jetty water bridge.
There is more or less both of the moons are in their twin phases at the moment. One's on the opposite side of the sky from the other. They're not full moons, but they're one of them is in a crescent and the other's in a half moon, which means that they'll be at sometime this month both be full moons in the sky together. But it's definitely enough light that you can see across this wide spanning river, which is moving pretty quick. The old ruins, bridges and such that have just kind of collapsed into the river or were destroyed on purpose when they abandoned the city. There is a straight plain of kind of marshy land on the other side, which probably going to be deep enough for your boat to go through, but I guess you just have to trust your guide on that one. But he sees you come down the footpath and end at this small bit of like stone platform before it changes into the wood planks. Well, it looks like you are here.
Yeah, the jetty was kind of rickety, but we made it.
Well, either way, you got all the gear that you need and the weapons and such.
Yeah,
Yeah,
support myself.
Slimmed down a little bit too, tried to keep as much as we could out of the way.
Ulthion's still standing there in full plate mail.
I also
It's mithril.
I also brought extra just iron spikes and hemp and stuff just in case.
Listen, no noise. All right, no clanking metal parts or weapons or swinging. We need dead silence. There's things other than the mercenaries that we're going to be going out there to fight that might find us.
I'm gonna jump up and down and kind of like rustle my body a bit, trying to see if anything's clanking or moving, just as kind of like a sound check for myself.
Okay. So yeah, you jump, and you're pretty quiet, like one or two, and then your foot goes right through the platform. You like slip down, and the dwarf just gives you this look.
What? Making sure I was quiet.
Who's gonna babysit the Goliath?
Well,
I believe that's his big brother's job.
No,
I'm the bigger
Big
brother.
What?
no metal parts, he says.
You know what I mean.
I put on my gloves. Alright, yeah. I'll make sure he doesn't get in too much trouble.
All right, in the boat, big guy. You're rowing.
Yeah.
So you guys get in this boat and basically start heading downstream.
Godric, stop singing.
Why? I'm excited.
We're literally supposed to be quiet.
No, we haven't got the part where I'm supposed to be quiet. So
Oh,
no,
let's
I think my
do it
system.
until-
It definitely started when you broke the hole in the... It started already.
well, as a matter of fact, you might want to roll a little smoother.
You know what, honestly, Godric, I don't think you could win if we challenged each other to a silence game.
No, that's not my thing. Lose.
Good try, Elsie.
Yes, well... I suppose psychology and reverse psychology don't work when you have no psyche to psychologize.
Also a
Oh.
good one.
I would like stealth checks from everybody, please.
Ooh.
And we're gonna try something a little different tonight. These are gonna be your stealth checks for the whole night against all the other stuff.
Oh boy, that's high pressure.
Yeah.
Needs to be fresh.
Fresh.
I'm gonna wait for Matt to roll before I roll. Oh no!
Good.
Oh!
Good. It just
Oh.
fits, you know?
Oh!
It was so close to being good, and then it wasn't.
No.
Woo!
Wheel!
No one's surprised.
Hey!
Advantage.
If I just don't move
Why do you have advantage?
What
Disadvantage.
do I have advantage?
elven shit,
Stealth?
Yeah.
Magic items, bruh. Take a look at my special boots, my special cloak. They seem to be of an elven kind.
An elven kind. Elven make.
So,
I probably should have borrowed
17.
one of those.
17? What'd you get?
10.
6.
23!
Oh, Jesus, man.
Woo.
Nobody
It was
suspects a
almo-
goblin.
Mine was so close to being a 14, and then it
Oh, you
fell
know what?
over and was not.
Me and Katarina just
Go
sitting
here
there
real quick.
chatting about magic with our sixes. Just can't stop.
Yeah, you just can't stop.
Can't
It's
turn it
amazing.
off.
And you can't stop. And you can't stop.
Justin,
And
you
then
have
back,
inspiration,
Look, I
right?
think I made my
I do have
illusionary
an
fireworks more
inspiration point,
realistic.
yes.
And
Oh
then
my god. They come with sound now. That's so good.
Oh dear. 23. I'm gonna write that down.
I went to sleep last night, and I just woke up feeling like I could do so much better
23.
magic than I could yesterday.
Wow.
Mike got a 10, right?
Yep.
Maybe make them bigger now.
Justin got a 17.
Confidence.
I'm not raging, so
What'd you get again, Tara?
6.
A 6?
Yeah.
And what'd you get, Matt?
6.
Right on. Super dope.
Godric's still humming to himself.
Alright.
What'd you get?
10.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not a 6 at least.
You know what?
It comes from not having armor.
I'm gonna give inspiration to Mike for finally getting rid of that ridiculously dumb bunch of axes that I've despised thinking about since you said you had Bandolier of throwing axes.
Yeah, it's always been
I'm so
good.
happy it's gone now, right now. Dude.
That's the
And
real
it's-
reason I was
it's
giving
staying
it.
gone, or you have to give the inspiration back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Okay.
take it in.
I threw it into the general public, so I wasn't tempted to keep it. Okay.
So as you kind of pull closer to the looming ruins of the Old Vanheim city, it's worn down, waterlogged streets kind of ahead of this marshy set of, what does it be called, like cattails and stuff. Reeds growing on the side of the river. You hear the dwarf who's listening to good old Locke and Katarina just jabber on about magic. He kind of, hey, quiet down. You'll see what I see across the river. And so as you're kind of pulling up, you start to see kind of eases you into slowing your rowing down a little bit. And they're one of the first buildings you see, this dilapidated, monstrous, like fishing, I guess it would be some sort of like fishing hut, or not hut, but definitely a fishery of some sort. Right off the side, its dock and boats have been long rotted into the river themselves. You can barely make out. Ulthion, you can see him like perfectly clearly, and Trin, you can too. But everybody else, you can barely seem to make out these shapes, these kind of hunched over humanoid creatures, or like kind of down on all fours and moving through the ruins right there, right out front of this building, right at the edge of the water. And you recognize them immediately as like feral ghouls. And there's about 5 of them, and they seem to be eating more than likely somebody who is unlucky enough to cross their path. And one of the larger ones, probably Gas, kind of stands up, and you can hear him like smell the air. And he just continues to look, gore kind of just dripping down from his face, and he just snarls and leans back over and grabs this person by their foot and their leg and just starts dragging them into the ruins, and the rest of the ghouls just kind of clambering after him as they go inside this building.
I thought we were dealing with living things.
Shut up, Godric. We're not dealing with them.
And the dwarf just... You can see he slipped a rather large arrow out and had procced it on the bow, and then just lets the tension relax and puts the arrow back in his quiver. I'm not usually that close to the shores.
Maybe fresh bodies.
Fresh bodies. More than likely one of those mercenaries kind of strayed away too far from camp and got picked up. That's
Oh, they've
good
been
news for us.
Dislocated. Perhaps there's a presence deeper in.
I'm sure them occupying the center of the old ruins has pushed many creatures out of their natural habitat. We'll have to be especially careful. Either way, keep rolling.
Aye.
So, paddle stroke after paddle stroke, you just kind of make your way into the city. The water at this point, either a combination of the buildings, these townhomes, houses, and manors having just collapsed inward, or possibly just the river being that deep or the waterlogged streets being this deep, up to like maybe their second story windows. Could be a combination of many things. But all the while, there's this tension about the windows, and you catch glimpses of strange shapes in the windows. The moonlight just barely picking them out, only to realize that it was maybe a stand that had a hood or a cloak, or was a mannequin in a store at some point, just there in the shadows. This takes about a half hour or so to do properly to get into the city. And finally, the dwarf, hey, we can stop now. Hold on a moment. And he looks over at Ulthion. You, hey, elf,
Yes.
do you see? He kind of just points across from the tip of the bow of the boat. Do you see something in the water moving there? It's a very slight rippling effect. It's only there momentarily, but I swear I saw something hit the surface.
Perhaps.
Make
Roll
a
a
perception
perception
check.
check. 14.
14.
Oh, so 17.
You can see that there definitely was, like, the rippling. It's very light. Something did disturb the water up ahead. But nothing crazy. Just very light. More than likely, probably just a fish hitting the surface.
Don't think there's anything to be worried about.
All right then. Keep rowing.
Go back to rowing. I'm rowing a little slower this time now that I know that something's possibly up ahead. I'm trying to not be just full.
Gotcha.
If I would do enough to find the water, fish would die before.
So, you kind of get to that spot where the ripples were, and the boat rocks a little bit as something kind of bumps the bottom of it. You just kind of go back and forth a little bit, just very lightly. Then Godric just keeps rowing and you kind of move past it. And the dwarf directs you. Alright. Right here, this street. We need to go left.
Okay, do that. This. There you
That's right.
Left.
You mean that's correct?
Godric, you're turning the boat the wrong way. Yes, you are.
go. Why is it turning
Godric,
right?
that way's left.
Gotcha. Turns, realizing he was going the wrong direction.
Alright. So, as you kind of fit in between these two buildings, it opens up into a wider street as opposed to this like kind of thin side alleyway or passageway. And then you pick up basically a light kind of dancing off of the buildings up ahead. Like this very faint firelight just kind of playing off and moving, shifting the shadows very, very subtly. But there was definitely something there.
And all these streets are still flooded, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're flooded. The boat kind of comes up to the edge, crossing into the street. And as you look down from, I guess you would be up front with the dwarf more than likely.
For sure.
You see that there is, the water kind of comes up to an edge where the elevation changes and suddenly the streets aren't submerged anymore. And there's obviously a lot less just overall damage to the structures themselves. It looks like a long abandoned city at this point, but in surprisingly decent shape overall. Everything looks boarded up, but there near the shore you can see the flickering of torches and some humanoids at the edge of the water.
Godric, ghouls don't use torches.
Ooh.
And as the boat kind of comes further out, you can all see the torches, and there's about five or six bodies there or so, just kind of walking along the edge of the water. And then you hear like a little bit of laughter and maybe somebody's voice kind of just carry a little loudly across the water and echo off to the buildings.
Mercenaries. Can't think of anybody else who'd be telling jokes in a place like this.
So excited. Living people
And the dwarf pulls out a rope, and then out of this like sack on the side, he gets this big chunk of metal, and starts tying it up and drops it into the water. All right.
We want to fight them all. God.
This is where I leave you.
This is it?
Perfect.
This is it.
I'm gonna stand up, actually take my cloak off.
Down below.
So
You're
before
gonna
we
use the
go-
old sewers. Keep swimming. Eventually they'll come up. You find a cracked bit of overhead from one of the streets, and enough moonlight should be coming down for you to see and continue your way under. If you don't want to go swimming, then you're fighting your way through the patrols and risking alerting the whole city and all of those zealots that you're here.
Do that one.
No.
No.
Well, we could always split up and do both.
If
I
you
think
want,
that's the worst possible idea.
But I get to have fun.
And
Yes,
you could
Godric
draw a lot
draws
away.
them all away, and then we all go and actually do the objective, and maybe someday we'll see him again.
If we need a distraction, we can do that without sending one of us away.
I think he was just making a joke because they wanted to go.
Yes, I'm being more supportive while also still being a bit of an asshole. Feel like
It
I've
should
turned over
take
a new
you,
leaf.
if you're a quick swimmer, should take you about 7 or 8 minutes.
Oh god, 7, 8 minutes. How long can you one hold breath?
Suckers and
con
your
mod.
breathing.
It's
Minimum a minute.
Yeah.
it's
What's that?
so it's a con mod plus the minute, right?
One.
Okay, so I can
I think your con mod.
Or no,
in
that's
minutes.
Yeah, I think it's just your con modifier in minutes, up to a minimum of 1.
Oh, is it completely submerged?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I can. It's equal to 1 plus their con mod. That's the way it's written.
1 plus.
Yeah, so I can hold my breath for about 4 minutes.
I can do 4 minutes, but I don't breathe, so it doesn't matter.
I'm still gonna get to a point. Why are you trying to drown Locke? I don't know. It makes me feel better.
We got 3 potions of water breathing, right?
Yes,
Right.
All right.
and I volunteered
1,
to.
2, 3.
Yeah, I know. I volunteered to just go for it.
Before we go,
I have my own potions of water breathing.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, I have one.
I have 1.
I have 2. Usually Burrup needs 1 as well.
Well then, seems that we should be good.
everyone, hands together.
Hang on.
No,
Are you
Yes.
absolutely not.
I look
I
at the door.
refuse
The
to
door
let
say,
you
"What is
refuse."
this?" Are you
Hands
heads
together? Is
are
this a thing you do?
I touch, and as I'm talking, are you heading back to the
Altheon.
inn?
No, I'll be waiting
Now's
here
not
to
the
take
time
you
for
up.
this.
I just take my cloak off and
We'll
throw
be
it down.
underwater.
I'm better with my skin exposed.
Who's the best band of adventurers there ever was? Thunder Dangerous!
Not what we're doing.
Thunder Dangerous!
I just touch Altheon.
Perfect.
That shouldn't work. It can't work like that.
No, and then I lunge forward and touch you and cast the spell.
Damn it.
And then you hear a voice. Working on this part.
We've been practicing.
I've been whispering.
Godric has a dragon inside him, and I have a Goliath inside me. Lovely.
Generally, you have to pay for
You're doing it too.
Telekinesis. Telekinesis. What?
Telekinesis.
All right.
Tell the audience what we cast.
That's a long time
Telepathy.
for you all to hold your breath. How? And it's a long ways to go.
But I thought, because I have this holding up the potion of water breathing, I don't have to hold my breath.
It's true. We could use those.
But then how do we get out?
Locke, I will never forgive you for this.
I don't care.
We may be able to teleport out. Or it's not necessarily as big of a deal if we're making a ruckus as we leave.
Yeah.
Here's the real question. Do some of us think we can't make that swim?
Oh, 7 minutes?
But 8
No
minutes.
way I'm holding my breath for 7 minutes.
I'm also not confident in how good of a swimmer I'm going to be. It may take longer than that.
Just tie a rope around Locke?
If I walk through on the bottom, I could probably drag you all through the water.
I can swim.
You can swim.
What? Are you upset that my gorgeous elven armor isn't going to hinder my ability to swim?
No, I'm just... You're gonna swim and hold your breath for 7 minutes? Or are you gonna use the potion?
Yes.
You're gonna use the potion.
I'm going to use the potion, and then I'm going to hold my breath, because that water is disgusting.
Oh. I see.
All right. How long do these last generally?
About an hour, I believe.
All right. Ready?
Bottoms up.
Good luck. Good
Actually,
luck.
give me a water, by the way. Don't you? I think
That's funny.
You know who's better than me?
Me.
No, Matt.
Me?
Everyone!
I'm better than you.
It's not a competition. What if it were?
I'm winning.
Don't throw it. My left arm is
So,
cramping.
as you all pop,
Oh!
as you all uncork your potions and then cloudy green fluid-like contents,
Every time!
contents
Every time.
rush down your throat. You feel this sort of terror. You feel terror as you realize what you're gonna have to do. Terror.
It's a side effect of
It's called ASMR.
You feel almost as though something in your body shifts or your lungs shift. Your body sort of morphs on the inside, and you dive into the water.
Oh, I sink like a rock.
like a rock.
Would I be able to like try to help you not sink?
No. I would make you sink. You're all muscle. You sink too. Just not like metal.
Never try to carry a heavy object while swimming.
And that being
hard.
said, because of his magnificent stealth check, Locke just literally just fucking plunges over the side
Yeah.
into the water and like rocks the boat.
Jesus.
And Katarina just kind of like jumps in.
It's not graceful at
Yeah,
all.
it's not at all.
By Chrome's beard.
We probably should have gone first, so they could have seen how it's done.
I just kind of.
You don't have a problem with swimming, right?
No!
Oh,
I totally know how to swim.
as I'm leaning over to like slide out of the boat. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get to see what Thrin's hair looks like without grease when I go into water.
What he doesn't realize is the grease is going to protect your hair from getting wet at all.
Yes! It's like a goose.
All right.
I get it.
Good luck, dwarf.
But best of luck.
Let's
I'll
go.
be here waiting for you to come back out. I'm sure I'll hear of it if you're not successful in infiltrating that place.
Do you think you'll hear of it if we are?
All of you here. It's
Did we pay
very
him?
dark down here.
Yeah, you did. You guys paid him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure that's a leg.
So the deep, murky water makes it next to impossible to see anything in front of you.
Yeah. I pull out, now that we have two of them
Mhm.
under the water, I reach into my pack and pull out the drift globe. Because I have my own now.
Yeah. You're both drift globe buddies.
Drift globe.
Drift globe buddies. Anyways, they're the best of friends.
How
Um,
drift globe buddy?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what are we doing with it? Just the dim light,
Yeah,
basically.
I figured dim light, and I'm not gonna let go of it. I'll just hold it in front of me and use it like a kind of like a flashlight.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I'll actually slow down my.
You end up down there with everybody else who, with the potion of water breathing. Anybody who's not holding the breath already. At first, it feels weird to just kind of like breathe, but you know, after a few moments of like a little bit of panic, you're able to kind of just like calm yourselves and get used to the idea of just breathing the water in and getting the oxygen.
It's like
Putting it out.
snorkeling for the first
Yeah,
time.
exactly. It's extraordinarily uncomfortable, but it definitely works.
Very weird.
Once you light up the drift globe, you scatter like some fish that are just nearby, and they just disappear and take off into the reeds and the fauna underneath the water. Locke is just down there,
I'm standing.
and he's
down.
standing on like below you, like 10 feet below you, 15ish or so, maybe 10, 15ish. No,
Muddy-
probably closer to 20ish
muddy
feet.
cobbled streets.
Is mud cobbled streets where you can barely make out like a little bit of stone here or there, and it's just the entire path up ahead of you is just basically a forest underneath.
I say, in my mind,
Mhm.
in my telepathic mind, to Locke, hey Locke,
Mhm.
Locke, be careful. If you stir up a bunch of mud, we won't be able to see anything. It'll be a total brownout.
I'll stay in back and follow the light,
That's probably a good idea.
because I have to walk.
I was
Alright, so you all swim forward then.
Yep.
Yes.
Just keep swimming.
So following the drift globe and Oltheon, you kind of just make your way around like reeds and the growth underneath the water. Meanwhile, like everyone's all stopping to make sure that like Locke is keeping up because you can swim much faster than he can walk.
I just see a pouting Locke just
Swimming the entirety of about maybe 200 or so yards to get over there takes you the better part of at least 10 minutes with Locke following behind you and trying to keep an eye on him. But you eventually do come to this space where it looks like the road had either has been collapsed or the shore has been pulled apart. Something has happened over time, and you find yourself an entrance to what looks like the old sewers.
Oh no.
The grate has been like pulled away. It's just this pipe. It should be able to fit all of you.
Well, lead the way. Swim up to the opening.
preferably someone with an orb, because I can't see anything.
Yeah, Oltheon just swims out ahead of you, just continuing going forward.
I give him a nod, speaking as little as I can in the mind, trying to not be rude.
I imagine you're thinking so hard about it that you're actually like saying things. You're like, "Alright, don't say too many things. Don't talk.
You guys just keep hearing, don't talk. Anyways.
It's rather quite.
Godric,
Where do you see
the
yourself in 5
elven
years? Dating
song
your...
we heard in the tavern a few weeks ago.
What?
Don't think about that no matter what you do.
What?
Do not think about that elven song we heard a few weeks ago. Alright, let's go.
You hear light humming now as he's thinking about humming the song.
It's pleasant enough. He's off key, even in his own head, but you know, whatever.
He thinks he's perfectly on key and he's happy about it.
I hate every minute of it.
No way. Elven music is avant-garde. It's supposed to be off-key.
Oh yeah, it's pretentious elven
pretentious
music.
assholes.
It's basically like the jazz of fairy tale music.
Elves invented slam poetry.
Yeah,
Kids are all terrible.
it's like they're sort of hoity-toity and into themselves. They think it's good. You know, they're like, this is the highest level of what poetry is.
But after about another 10 minutes or so, you guys find yourselves rising up out of the water and popping your heads out into this kind of large square room. And it's just as the dwarf described it, just as he said. There's basically this kind of gash in the ceiling up top, and the moonlight is coming through just enough for you to see, and you can swim up to the edge and climb up onto this dry space. And from there, the sewers or catacombs just kind of continue.
Is there like enough rubble and shit that I can climb up?
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, Godric will just pick you up.
Fair enough.
Give
By
you
the
a rope and just...
I'm going to like immediately start prestoing my clothes and like cleaning them.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
do this.
nasty.
Well, I do the same thing because dripping is loud.
Mm.
And wet clothes are horrible to sneak in.
No one's around, right?
Fair enough.
I'm gonna look around, make sure there's no special guests.
No, there's nobody there. It's empty.
Start drying you off now.
Alright, just watch the hair. No, in fact, take care of my guitar. It's hard to play it if it's damp like that. Oh, probably out of tune.
Yeah. Careful with that. Now the hair.
No!
Dry.
Shh. It was already dry.
It's gross.
You're gross. You don't even have hair.
A benefit.
And I start peeling the grime off the ground that you cleaned off my hair and put it back. Oh.
That's even gross for me.
Alright. Your turn. Dry off.
I just start shaking.
And I guess you're good.
That's gross. Now we all smell like wet Goliath.
I will naturally just steam it off.
Alright. we're in, but we're not sure exactly where, right?
Not that hard.
Should we try to get
Godric says that when he rages, he runs so hot that the water leaves his body like a steam.
No, water that's on it.
Godric? Try and see if you can find somewhere to climb up and get a bird's eye and spot the ruins of the temple from where we are now.
You think the large man should do it?
I think he can climb better than most.
You can't see better than most.
I'm gonna look around and see if there's any position for me, like any like place I can climb up and get a little bit more of a top-down view.
I'm gonna do a douchey elf thing and jump up off of Godric and climb up on the wall.
You're just trying to see what? Out from underground to the surface?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of... If you wanted to, you could peek your head up through the gash in the ceiling. For sure, but it's a pretty small space.
How tall is it?
The entirety of the room, just tall enough that you could probably do it standing up.
But not while I'm on your shoulders.
Exactly.
I just feel you step up like you're lighter than I thought.
Basically, you just see an empty city. It's a street. The damage looks like it was caused by who knows what long ago, but it seems fairly empty. You don't see anything that stands out in particular or see anybody.
I'll drop down. We've gone the wrong way.
Are you sure we've gone the wrong way?
Yes, I popped up there and all I could see was Samaria. I think we should go that way.
It's a surprise.
Wait, what?
Let's go.
Right.
I'm already basically crouching down in here. It's small.
Maybe we should...
It's an elven form of humor. In a group of people, you say something absurd, and the first person to get confused is obviously the dullard of the group. We all laugh at that person, and we move on. You were the first person to be confused.
I get it.
Yes.
The lights. Should we proceed without them? Lead with those who can see?
Tuck mine into my cloak.
I just kind of put my hand on your shoulder.
Do you want to take the front and Trin and I can take the back since we can see?
I will stick in the middle.
I keep forgetting you can see in the dark.
I guess most humans can't, can they?
No. Are you starting to understand that you're not really human, or was that just a turn of phrase now?
I think she's counting herself a human and one exceptional human.
I'm not saying you're not human, you're just so much more.
Are we ready then?
Yes.
Oh, sure, yes.
Remember, they know we're coming, and it may be horribly trapped, so hold on. If you die, I'll miss you. Because I know you won't come back like me.
But I did come back, like you.
Yeah, that one time, but that's a fluke. But,
Right, everybody gets one, is that your idea?
well, no, I get more than one. But if the Seldarine wills it, maybe you will come back.
It probably won't.
But I'll miss him.
Let's go.
He's gonna get horribly mauled by a trap. I just know it.
With my passive perception of 18, I ignore his comment.
There's the rest of the stuff that goes with your fire staff.
Oh, sweet.
Godric,
This staff
keep
is
your hand on
on
my
fire.
back.
Hmm.
It's going to get dark.
Reach out and put my hand on your back.
Are you sending me love notes?
No.
Oh, it just
I
looks
was
like...
I sent Tara the rest of her magic item.
Is Altheon sending you love notes? Because it looks like he's
As
sending
far as
me
I'm
love
aware.
notes. Is
I don't know what
Altheon
Altheon is
sending
doing.
someone else love notes?
Make me a survival check
Survival.
to navigate the catacombs in Undercity.
Just wanted to follow the dwarves' instructions.
Yeah, I want to see how well you can do that.
Alright. I do it with a 14.
That's good enough. Because the dwarf gave you you have a pretty decent map, and he gave you some pretty good directions. You're able basically to find these small bits of landmarks and navigate through most of the rubble and overgrown sections. You guys end up having to basically chop down a tree root that has grown through one of the passages. But aside from that, you can, based on the map, you should be either close to or right around an exit from down here. And you can see this ladder that's going up to this huge manhole cover. You should be near, basically the city center where the old temple is at this moment.
Here's the plan. We'll go up. We kill everything that doesn't look like us.
It sounds like a great plan.
Are we going to like the temple in the city
You know
center?
what? You're right. Most of them are probably just misled.
What about
Let's kill everything that tries to kill us.
well, what about like a distraction or something?
What do you have in mind?
I don't know. I'm a bard. I could go up there and bard them.
You want to do that? What would we do? Just hide here and wait?
No, well, I bard them, and I gather their attention. That's when you crawl out and you just walk over to the temple.
What would stop them from just attacking you?
Well, it's a goblin crawling out of a sewer to sing a song. It seems pretty interesting to me. I'd stop.
Well, maybe I go up. It depends. If they're on like guard duty, that's one thing. But if they're just encamped here and maybe having dinner and some drinks, I mean, it's late.
Maybe we try just walking in like we belong there. We're already past the guards.
Or
And then,
They might
then when
know-
they stop us, you can do your bard and...
well, I'm thinking they might know who we are and be setting that trap that
Shh.
Katarina was talking about.
Someone directly above us.
What?
Near the manhole. Listen. Can't tell what they're talking about, but there's at least two of them.
Take them out.
I don't know how we would do that.
Pop out and hit them in the face.
Hold on. I may have an excellent hearing, but you can smell that, right? They're cooking something.
Yeah, you guys just listen just enough. You kind of quiet down. You can hear some like chatter and stuff, some light discussion, and some people talking up above, and the sound of like kitchenware or something moving around, pots or pans or something, metal being clinked. And then you hear like what sounds like laughter and maybe some hands clapping.
It sounds like they're encamped. Not so different from like a tavern. But I was thinking they might know who we are, so I could look like a dwarf or something.
And you do what you need to do. I'll trust in your method.
Alright. 1 second. As I'm gonna cast Disguise Self on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
as I take on the
Allow
form...
myself to introduce
Yeah,
myself.
I take on the form of a burly dwarf, with a coat dressed appropriately for the weather and the chill evening and all that. And he has and I have my gear, my guitar, and I mimic very much my own style but I just appear to be a dwarf with a braided beard, and a mohawk of his own. And I'm gonna slowly ascend up towards the manhole and kind of try and pop it just enough to peer to see if I got enough clearance to like get out.
Oh, golly crops. It's fun.
Actually, I didn't copy paste this other part, so I missed this part.
You have more power
Yeah.
than you even thought.
Um,
Magic items, man. Magic items. I'm nervous.
All right, so you're just gonna like go out all the way, or are you just trying to get up there and look and see what's above
yeah,
you?
I'm just trying to get up there enough to the manhole.
Mhm.
This case dwarf hole.
Sure.
I'm gonna pop it
23.
just
Okay.
enough to where I can kind of see if I have like clearance or the ability to crawl out without just being like, oh my god, this dwarf just crawled out of the sewer. Let's murder it. You know?
Kind of what I was thinking in my
I
brain.
know, gotcha. Yeah, you want to look without being seen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you climb up to the top, and it takes you a few tries to like kind of leverage this cover a few different ways, and eventually you're able to like lift it up above you enough that you can look out. And basically, what you see is this square or so has a few different spaces, like tents, tables. You see like weapons racks and stuff just kind of scattered about this town, like this city center area. Around behind you, you can see the looming temple just kind of in the middle with its grass and like dirt spaces, its front yard basically, and a set of stairs that leads up to it. In the center of town of this camp, it looks like they've erected a large statue of Bahamut. At best guess, you see like a kitchen, and all in all, it seems like there's at least 20 or so armed mercenaries, plus at least maybe an additional 30 or 40 people living here.
Like 40 people, like they don't look obviously like armed or militaristic uniforms or anything like
They just
that.
look like your average person.
Okay.
A lot of them, some of them you see have like a similar kind of robe sashed across their front, but not everybody has that same thing.
Similar kind of robe. Is there anything
Like a sash across them.
Yeah, just like a sash. Is it a particular color or anything like that? Or
There are
does it have a
various
design?
colors. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna kind of bide my time for a few moments until I seize a moment that I believe I can exit the hole without being like detected.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy enough with the stealth roll that you rolled, man. You just climb right out of there and just kind of roll over and slip behind some water barrels, and just kind of take a good look around. Make me a perception check.
I will most def do that.
Remember, we're telepathically bonded, so
Yeah.
you can talk to us from any distance.
Alright, so I'm gonna think to myself, but I think to myself,
What a wonderful
Oh
world.
yeah,
in Dwarven.
remember.
Not in Dwarven.
Professor X means you're talking in your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, looks like we got some people here. It's not just mercenaries.
You really commit to that persona.
Yes, I believe they call them method bards.
20. Dirty 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, buddy.
You dirty 20.
Some say it's better dirty.
So what you see that despite it being obvious that there's the amount of guards that you can count, it seems like overall, looking at where everybody seems to either be eating dinner or doing something other than being like on guard duty. Presenting plenty of opportunities to just kind of slip into the crowd without any issue if you could get everybody else to do something similar. The second is that at least a dozen or several buildings around here on like the outskirts of the temple seem to be occupied. You can see like candlelight and stuff coming out of them, so there may be people looking for the windows or people who can see from the windows, like the manhole cover. And you can hear a group of individuals nearby discussing the Dragonborn going down into the catacombs below the temple. And that one of them kind of jokingly mocks about how he feels bad for the adventurers that they captured a few days ago, or a week ago.
Ooh.
But overall, what you kind of notice is that if everybody else is quick enough and quiet enough, you could probably just slip in past here, through the guards, to the church, the temple itself.
Like without having to create a secondary like distraction.
Yeah, more than likely. Everybody's eating. It's well lit, so you can see and count just about every face. And again, aside from a few actual armed guards, maybe 5 or 6 of them in the immediate area, all the other ones who are wearing armor or who are carrying arms seem to be sitting down for like chow.
I got you. Does it look like people are paying for chow?
No,
Or are they just like picking it up kind of thing?
they're just being served and eating.
And do the armed guards look as though they are stationed, or they just happen to be armed guards that are standing?
They look like they might be stationed. They're not looking your direction at all, though. They're looking out towards the city streets.
Okay. All right.
So ultimately, what you have is this temple, this large structure that's been this old temple to the Parathor that has been reaccommodated to deal with the people here, the worshippers of Bahamut and the church. In there is basically all around it is just a hodgepodge of makeshift tents and structures that people are living in and eating out of, housing their wares, and looks like a semi-permanent kind of camp.
Okay. Right. So I gotta report that back. The details about the guards, what the people said, and kind of what I'm seeing as far as like activity is concerned. I believe I can get you through here. Like, you can just be a little quiet and not draw any unneeded attention towards yourselves. It doesn't appear that we need to make an exceptional distraction, just not draw attention.
Then I say we go for the sneaking. Worst case scenario, I might be able to throw the hammer in a different direction, and when they go to investigate the noise, I can call it back. Maybe.
That sounds like a good backup plan. Hopefully we don't need to use it.
Agreed.
I'm gonna like designate kind of like this spot like behind the tents and stuff where they can get out and then like have an obvious like block from the specific guards.
Okay.
Like, visual block.
Sure.
And I'm gonna basically tap my foot on the lid when I think it's when I don't
You're
see
conveying all this to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tap my foot on the lid when it's a good time for them to pop out, as I kind of keep an eye, and then I'm gonna escort them out one by one till I get them all to this clear spot, and then start.
Should I
Escorting
crawl
them down.
up first? That way I can move the cover very easily and just keep it out of the way.
Is the cover that heavy?
The space where you're at seems to be kind of in a maybe like some sort of like a storage location. It's not covered, so it's out in the open, but there's a lot of crates and barrels and goods that have kind of been stacked here that would provide enough obfuscation that if somebody's quick enough, that they should be able to make it to this tent and hide there.
Mm.
But it's not enough that it would completely stop anybody who just kind of casually looks in that direction and just even does the slightest look for some reason.
I see.
There's like maybe a total of like maybe 5 or 6 feet worth of like objects getting in the way in the line of sight. It's not very much cover at all. But once you get to the tent, you'd be fine.
Is there enough blocking where if the cover was just removed, people walking by wouldn't notice it? Or is this a pop on, pop off type thing?
Hi, Pop. How are you?
Pretty dark corner. Dark.
It's dark enough that somebody would probably have to, again, they would casually, from depending on the angle, from like back towards the church, they'd be able to see it pretty obviously, but coming from everybody else, the line of sight is blocked enough by that like 5 or 6 feet worth of like water barrels and crates that they would have to purposely come over, look beyond it from the opposite side.
All right,
For
so
sure.
So I got a plan. I'm going to get to the blind spot,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna let this guy's self drop, and I'm going to use minor illusion, and I'm gonna remove the cover, but create a minor illusion that the cover is still there. Holy
What?
cow!
Got
What
it.
was that?
The charger.
Oh,
Either way.
Yeah. But I'm gonna create a minor illusion that the cover's still there. That way they're not having to fuss with the cover and dodge people's
Okay,
vision.
that's fine.
So I do that, and now I'll signal them telepathically.
All right, so since you're doing that, I'm going to grant everybody a temporary +5 to their stealth check.
Ooh.
So-
Alright.
Mhm.
Good,
That
'cause some
almost
of you rolled
doubles
a
my
little
stealth
low.
check.
Yes.
Alright. Who's first?
I'll go first to make sure I can move the cover.
Patrick, you're still huge.
I've already moved the cover. It's an illusion.
Oh, very good. All right, then who's going? Sounds like you want to go.
We all want to go. Send Locke and Katarina first.
Yeah, I start climbing the ladder.
All right.
Now. This is like kind of like a signal.
Okay. So, Locke, you kind of poke your head up. You look, and as Trin says, now you just get up and in this low crouch run, just kind of come around the back by the tent and behind the rest of the supplies with Trin.
Pull my hood over as much as possible.
Alright.
Alright.
Katarina, are you ready?
Yep, ready when you are.
Alright. I peek. I'll wait for a good time. Now! Now! Go,
Alright, then
move!
we'll go.
So, once again, you call to her. She pokes her head up. At that moment, someone comes and they start like by the crates and grabs it, and you can see this individual, this kind of this man. He's probably in his like mid-20s. This human guy, and he just kind of grabs this box and he's moving some stuff around, some ropes or untangling something, and he just mutters to himself, "It's not here. Where is it? Damn it!" And then he throws something on the ground and walks away. But you were able to like kind of sprawl yourself like basically right against the water barrels and like almost laying flat. And he seemed to overlook you, and then you get up and run over to the tent.
Godric,
Sorry.
that man was looking for his sense of awareness.
Alright, who's next?
Good
You
I'll see if they
Otheon?
hear you laugh. No, I'm just kidding. It was internal. Shut up.
Sorry, yeah.
Don't forget Professor X.
I'm thinking.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Alright, Otheon. Wait. Hold. Alright, now.
So you just like leap right up with this amazing elven grace, making no sounds. You kind of grab your cloak and you just deftly just right over, and you're right in the shadows. Okay.
That'd be me.
Alright, last is Godric. Once Godric's up here, we need to start integrating into the crowd and using that while the guards are distracted with their food and dinner to make our way over to the temple. Alright, Godric, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this sounds like it's gonna be a train wreck. Alright. Now.
You start going.
All right. So you kind of lift yourself up. You gotta think small, get small, But you get up once your arms are over, you just power lift your way up. You're like, yeah, that's what it's all about right there. And you just kind of get yourself up, but you realize that you're freaking huge, and you're looking straight across everything and everybody. But somehow, through the grace of the gods, nobody is looking your direction.
It's Godric, come behind the tent!
And you're
Over
this
here!
giant beacon that
I'm
says,
over the
I
tent!"
don't belong here. But nobody's looking, and you kind of just run over to the tent and like you sit down on your knees with everybody else.
I just want to say I don't know how this is working, but I don't know how this is working, but I'm happy it is.
We're blessed by the will of Altrar.
With Godric up and walking around, you realize, you're like, oh, that's right. He's like a 9-foot tall Goliath. There's no freaking way that he's integrating into any crowd in any way. If someone sees Godric, you're done.
Should have bought a potion of invisibility.
Could
Hey,
I?
Godric.
Yes. Could I just like walk on my knees?
Use your mind.
Couldn't I just like walk on my knees?
No, I have something.
Yeah, that won't look weird at all either.
I'll still be tall as the worst part.
Just like
I
a
can-
good cloak with a
I can
huge train.
major
Yeah.
illusion him to look like an innocuous human.
No, I think I got it.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Jesus Christ, it's gonna get me killed one day.
What's your passive again, Justin? It's
It's too bad, Emma!
like what, 20 something?
18.
18? Now that you have now that you can more accurately kind of see what Trin was describing to you, it's pretty clear that if you guys just moved quickly enough right now, taking advantage of everybody like eating and not even doing what they're supposed to be doing, it becomes obvious to you that these mercenaries, at least the ones out here, they're either tired or they've become comfortable and complacent in being here at camp, and they're just not doing their due diligence.
Watch.
If you go now, you should be able to get into the temple without any issue.
Right, I got
I grab the frets of my guitar, and I reach over and I touch Godric.
Mhm.
Be still. As I cast invisibility using my bardic instrument,
Nice.
and I turn Godric invisible.
Yeah, you watch as you just slowly just dissipate, and you guys basically see him just chameleon shift into the environment, and all you hear is the pitter patter of his feet as he kind of like moves and is like, "I'm invisible."
Seeing that, I kind of jog after.
And there's this very, very, very subtle but yet still visible kind of shadow on the ground below him.
and I've already taken
I
off.
follow after him. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going.
All right.
is this regular invisibility?
Ooh.
It's
Yes.
invisibility, 1 hour. Don't fucking do anything.
I hear Godric coming up behind me and my hand goes out. Stop, you big... What the fuck? Where? Godric.
I'm invisible. Turn invisible.
Oh.
So you hit the temple door, pull it open. You all slip inside, using the shadows and his invisibility.
I'm opening a door.
Once you're in there-
even though he's invisible.
Yeah. Once you're in there, the temple seems empty.
This is a good sign.
Yeah, we know there's Dragonborn in here. They're down below somewhere. Apparently they captured some adventurers.
Right, well, then we'll have allies if we can free them.
That's true. If they're freeable and not horribly dead and tortured and mutilated.
Or marked with the mark of the keys. Sorry, Tiamat.
Let's not say their names right now.
There must be some sort of secret door or something to lead us down below the temple where the sanctuary is.
Well, it doesn't have to be secret. It could just be out of sight right now.
I'm gonna walk into the room. Actually, it's not invisible.
Right, Godric, you wait out here. I'll go inside. I'm gonna walk right into Godric.
I was already walking in.
All right. Yes.
Invisible.
I guess just keep your surroundings. Let me know when I'm about to bump into you. It's not exactly the most graceful thing.
I agree. This is new. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna look around for any like doors or any ways like anywhere.
Psychically.
You're all inside,
Okay.
right?
Psychically.
You're all in there.
Careful, Godric. If you drop something, you'll never find it again.
Is the inside lit at all?
It is. It's definitely lit.
Okay.
There are some wall sconces with torches and stuff burning on the inside, giving you just enough light. It's obvious that people are coming through here, living here, worshiping here. There's texts and scripts and scrolls and like books just kind of laid about on these newly made and fashioned like benches and pews. It's obvious that there are candles that are either burnt on a regular basis or incense that are burnt. You can pick up the kind of the smell of these the essence of these smells coming from up ahead. There is a door on the other side of the room that probably leads further into the temple.
All right, we have to pass through the gallery and into the back chambers. There'll probably be stairs down into the catacomb.
I'm gonna.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for anything that looks out of place, because I know this is people in like the Cult of Domination are using this as like a front. So I want to see if I can find anything that looks out of place for this temple, but maybe would be something that people in the Cult of Domination would carry around. Like if there are any kind of sigils for Tiamat or anything like that.
Make me an investigation check. And how long do you want to do this? Is this
I-
like a cursory glance through, like you're just folding over some books and stuff, or are you like trying to like thoroughly go through all of this here?
I don't want to slow us down, so it'll be more of like a surface level.
Okay,
Look.
then do so with disadvantage then.
Then just one, because I have advantage with my eyes of
Yeah.
my new seeing.
There's no private.
No
page,
club
so-
Tiamat. pins or-
11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing that stands out that connects anybody to the Cult of Domination. Everything in here is related objects related to the worship of Bahamut and his teachings and everything that he stands for. There aren't any necessarily personal items per se, but there's nothing that connects to Tiamat or to Kisis or the Cult of Domination in here.
Okay.
Yes, well, the Church of a Good Dragon doesn't hide in old ruins and hire mercenaries to capture or kill adventurers.
And this temple to a good aligned deity seems oddly empty for off hours for mercenaries who are supposed to be worshipping.
Ah, the Church of Bahamut. Well, the actual one, they tend to do most of their worshipping in the morning.
What I'm saying is this place looks passed through and well lit. And I think what they're actually going to is further in.
I'm gonna move up to the door that's further down, and I'm gonna kind of lightly give it a pull to see if it's locked.
It's locked.
Who knows how to open doors?
Mind you, you turn the handle.
Sorry, they're locked,
Ah, yes.
and I don't want to knock.
It's very loud to do so.
Exactly. Anyone skilled enough to just lock it?
Well, I can definitely try. I don't have any special tools though. That makes it a lot harder.
Look for a key.
Are the before we do that, are the hinges on the outside or the inside?
On the inside.
They're not. I don't. So I don't see the hinges, right?
We're on the inside.
Yeah, you're on the inside.
Could I pull the hinges themselves be like pulled apart, kind of like new doors nowadays? Where
If
they have
you
like,
wanted to make a bunch of noise, yes.
I just didn't know if they were.
No.
Maybe with some of Trin's hair grease.
I don't have any to spare right now.
Fair.
Because I kind of lost some. It's no fault of my own. But anyway, let's try this door.
So you guys are in a room. There's one way out. It's locked. What are we doing?
I'm going to try and use the tip of my dagger to,
Make a
jimmy
sleight
the
of hand
door.
check with disadvantage. Since you don't have thieves'
Appropriate
tools. Yes.
yeah. Maybe if I just talk to it so nicely. Come on, little lock. Come on, open for me. Oh,
All right.
18.
Not bad with disadvantage. Yeah, so it's not an especially complex lock in any manner. A key obviously would have just done it. It's not like they were trying very hard to keep anybody out, so just a couple of clicks, you hear something on the inside like kind of break or pinch, and then you push the door in and it just
I
kind of
break
squeaks
the
open,
lock
just
every time. Well, they're gonna know we broke in.
That's all right. They knew we were coming anyways at some point.
Yeah, but with the craft of spy work,
Well,
generally you don't want to leave a trace, so I'm still a failure. Anyway, go on as I open the door.
all right.
Through the door.
Yeah, it's it looks like it's a not necessarily a it looks like it's maybe a script room of some sort. There is tons of scrolls and parchments. A lot of it looks like it's left over from when it was a Church of Parathor and just hasn't either been discarded or destroyed or moved. The room is just filled with all the stuff just everywhere. Everywhere you step, you're kind of stepping on some old piece of Parathor's teachings. Moving through there, back into a hallway, it leads past a few different rooms for worship. It leads past an old kitchen that seems to have been like overturned and destroyed. But eventually you get to a staircase that leads downward that seems to be blocked by an iron gate. From there, you can hear Ulthion talking, some echoing up through this rounding set of spiral stairs, coming up to you. You can't quite make out what's being said, but there's definitely people talking down there.
Right. There's people ahead,
The
down
iron
below.
through the iron bars. Yes.
Well,
Down below would imply
Yes.
that.
There.
It's definitely a lock, but the way that it's locked, if you were to successfully bend one of the bars on the corner near the lock, it should snap and send the lock off, opening it.
be loud.
Trin, come here.
Since it's just iron bars and I'd be
Mm.
able to like see through, would I be able to use my mage hand to unlock it from the other side since I can see?
Probably not, since it would require a little bit more fine dexterity with it than what
Okay.
you're capable of doing with it.
That makes sense.
If it was like a latch or just a simple bar that you could maybe raise and move out of the way, or was blocking it, sure, but it's actually got like a circular, like large lock, padlock on it.
Trin, get over here. This is gonna sound crazy, but get ready to catch the padlock.
Catch the bad
Or
boy.
hold on to it. I'm gonna attempt to bend it and pop it off, and if you can catch it, it won't be as loud.
Okay.
Or we could just not go through there.
Is this the only way? Is there another way?
I thought this was the one way.
So you think that there's a locked door, and then beyond the locked door, there's another locked door?
Well, we passed some other things on the way.
Go to the area that we're supposed to be going,
Yes, perhaps we don't break things.
and I then unlock it. Do the thing. Unlock. Go. Your turn. Your go.
Or
Go.
we'll
Go.
just go a different way. It's not logical for them to set it up this way. It's maybe a shortcut, but it's not a necessary turn. We'll go back and find another way in.
I pulled the lock.
All right, make me a athletics check.
My brain doesn't. Okay, 5. Fucking 14. Fuck.
14?
13. Fuck.
I mean, it's enough to break it, that's for sure. And you get over there to the bar. He's like talking to you and trying to explain this to you, and you're just like bend it and starts creaking. And there's a loud, significantly loud, like screech from the metal. And as you kind of pull on it, you pull up the whole side, basically. You don't pull up the entire gate, but it comes up, and a bunch of rock comes with it, and it just breaks it off. And some rubble kind of rolls down the stairs, and you can hear it clacking its way down towards the bottom. But then you just slide the padlock off, and you can open the gate.
Do the voices that we could hear stop talking?
No, it's been intermittent. It's hard to tell. So you guys take a pause. You listen, and at first you don't hear anything, and then you hear just regular conversing again. You on.
That was lucky.
Slowly open the door.
Okay.
Kind of even almost like giving it a light little lift to make sure it doesn't streak on the ground as best I can.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go first since I'm invisible.
Sounds good.
I'll begin working my way down.
So once you hit the bottom of the stairs, it's basically it's an old basement. Possibly it was a wine cellar. Not really sure. 'Cause almost everything's been moved out of there. The voices are getting louder, but it's not coming from this room. It looks as though someone has knocked out the rear wall of the room and connected it to the rest of the city.
What? It seems that you guys are good to go down. Everything's clear. This next room is okay, but the voices are coming from like a section they've knocked down. I'm gonna go look at that now. I'm gonna move over and take a gander.
You see another room. This looks more like the Undercity, or the parts of it that you use to get here, the sewers and stuff. It's made by like cobblestone rock walls, but it's a distinctly different part of the city, it seems. You can see mercenaries in there. There's probably like 4 or 5 of them just hanging out in a room across from you. It's open, but there's a hallway that takes a right. It's all lit by torches.
I relay that information. Is there a way? We couldn't really sneak by them, could we?
Sure. They're in another room across the hallway from you.
I let them. We can still sneak by. We just have to be extra careful.
Works for me.
There's only one direction to go, I guess. So let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. I'll stay by the opening of the door and kind of watch them, like, and telling them you're good to go.
All right.
You're good to go.
Okay. I'll grant everybody another +5 temporarily to their stealth check then, because you're going to watch the guards in the room. Yep. They seem to just be playing Dragon Ante. They're having a good time. They're drinking ale. There's 5 of them in there, just human guards in like splint mail with short swords, and they're just kind of hanging out and minding their own business. They don't not once do they even think to like glance towards their door and like look out into the room that you guys are coming out of. And even if they were to do that, one of the torches directly in the back wall in the room you're coming from, you guys like snuff it out, so that way you're not just being like lit, silhouetted against it when you're coming into the room.
Cool.
We're so smart.
So, as you pass by those few guards and delve deeper into the ruins, using like the fleeting shadows to kind of conceal yourselves, you realize that you're in the catacombs and just the underside of like the deeper city. How far you've come, staircase after staircase and hallway after hallway. You cross collapsed ground floors, basements from the buildings up above you, and have more or less turned it into a maze to navigate these old passageways and partially flooded corridors. Eventually, though, after passing a makeshift storage places and an armory, and also what seems to be a guarded prison area where you can hear people on the inside talking and somebody moaning on the other side of the door, you find a path that is marked with a singular dragon's head profile in this like messy maze. It's actually very similar, if not the exact same markings that were inside the first Dragon Knight's tomb.
I think I found it.
So, this is the place then?
I guess we'll just keep going in.
Not easy to find, huh?
I think they've already found it.
Right.
There are something I think it's kind of like the one in Lior. They found it, but they just took the right people to find more of it, if that makes sense.
Well,
Like-
look around. Is that I'm gonna look for any signs of disturbance or like kicked up dust, boot prints. They may have been trying to bring adventurers with them, so maybe there's like sections that were dusty and cobwebby or something and have been moved.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? I'm going to try the
Investigation
door
check.
because if there's people on the other side of it, we'll have to confront them regardless.
So you said
No,
investigate.
there's no door there.
It's just
You
an
guys
opening.
went well beyond that.
You didn't just say it. You just said it was a door. The
I
dragon
said you
head.
passed it. No, it's not a door. It's just a dragon's head marked in the stone,
Mm-hmm.
etched into a
Oh.
profile.
Okay.
Hmm.
So investigation.
Yes.
Ooh. Less hot. 11.
11.
Yeah,
Oh,
11
there's.
plus 2.
I mean, there's obvious signs that this is a heavily trafficked space. Just getting to this point, you pass through at least 2 walls that had been destroyed, either from the outside or from one side, to open them up into these additional chambers. And going through at least at this point an hour spent underground here doing this and getting to this point, you passed multiple rooms filled with mercenaries and dragonborn, and just regular people.
Your invisibility
Just
ends.
staying. Yeah.
I'm acting as if invisibility's still on.
But
So you definitely see kind of
Yeah.
what's going on.
there's definitely signs of passage, and
Okay.
there's signs
After-
that at least a large group of people have passed through this way recently.
After an hour, our telepathic bond is finished as well, unless we take another 10 minutes to set it up again.
It's an extremely subtle etching of the dragon's head, and if you weren't looking for it or familiar with what you were looking for, you might have just
Missed
walked
it.
past it.
I'm gonna just reach out and touch it.
Okay, it's a dragon's head etched into the stone. The catacombs continue on toward this point.
That's
Well,
right.
It's heavily trafficked. There's no way to know.
They keep going into the catacombs.
Yes,
Yeah, this way.
there are torches.
Yeah,
They
it's a path that should be easy enough to follow if you're assuming that this group is heading to the same place you are.
They probably know that the tomb is here, but maybe they're not able to reach it.
Well, then all we can really do is keep going, yes?
I think so.
Yes.
Right.
So you continue forward into the catacombs then?
Yeah.
As long as everyone's cool with it.
Mhm.
Anybody got any checks or anything they want to do beforehand?
I might.
No.
That's why I was
feel
asking.
like- when you
You're
ask that
intently
question, it makes me
looking.
feel like I need to be making a check, like I'm gonna miss them.
You might need to, but
You
you
might-
already made a check,
We're
so you don't
making-
get to make another one.
Oh, boo!
I still want to keep looking around to see if there's anything just like easy to grab. Same kind of thing like pendants of Tiamat or the Cult of Domination.
You know what,
or
I'm
any of
gonna-
that.
Once you got past more of the crowded areas that were actually like filled with people, at this point it's just abandoned city, undercity that you come across. There are small like little trinkets and things like pieces of like ragged clothing or just moldy boxes and just stuff that's collapsed from up above you down into this section, but nothing that would give any kind of connection to Tiamat or the Cult of Domination. If you go back and infiltrate or investigate the rooms you passed, you might find something.
Okay.
But it was clear that you weren't going to be able to do that without alerting somebody when you guys skipped past them.
Mhm.
I'll probably just take a look around that dragon symbol,
Uh-huh.
and see if there's any mechanism to open a door or a way or anything like that.
Okay, make an investigation check.
11.
It's just an etching of a dragon's head. It's a profile. It's worn. It's been water's run over it, so it's nigh indistinguishable from the rest of the stone, but it's there.
Put
You-
my hand on the dragon's profile.
Mhm.
And even the stones moved way for the elven grace of the Seldarine, and I cast stone shape and turned it into a doorway.
Okay. A doorway. How far into where?
I'm just gonna move the stone apart to if there's a room on the other side, we'll be able to walk in. It's a 5-foot cube.
Yeah.
It's a huge amount of stone.
Yeah. On the other side of the stone is just earth that kind of collapses and rolls inwards.
Well, this
Down the
means
hall.
nothing then.
It definitely moved for you.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it did.
definitely did.
Now we know for sure there's nothing there.
Onward! And I keep moving in the holes.
All right, so continuing in the passageway that connects this room to the rest of the catacombs, you end up finding more distinct signs of people having traveled through it, the path becomes a little easier to follow. It leads to a steep and descending set of stairs. Following that staircase leads to a chamber decorated with dragon iconography, and the same painting of the dragon knights is on the far wall of this large chamber, and a set of large heavy stone doors have been partially opened up ahead across the chamber. Looking around, there are definitely more signs that people have traveled through this area ahead of you.
At least we don't have to unlock another door.
Mm-hmm.
See the picture? Is it any different, do you think, Locke? Do you think it perfectly matches? Maybe it holds some secrets. Weren't you holding the sketch from the last one? Was I? Pretty sure you were. And if I was, what's your point? I mean, you could compare it. It doesn't matter. We'll come back to that. Onward. I pull my hood down. No more need for secrecy. We're where they don't want us.
This hood protects me from any form of magical scrying or divination. I'll keep mine up.
Very well.
I will pull Gwendolyn out and just kind of rest it on my shoulder, and kind of just in case anything goes awry, I'm already kind of prepped and ready.
I figure they don't want us alive in the first place, so I don't think it matters where we are. I mean, we couldn't talk our way out of it anymore.
We're just gonna walk in there and confront them.
Actually, I sheath Gwendolyn and pull out the hammer first.
Is there...
Keep that ready.
Do
Is
you
that the
suggest another way?
I'm just
Make me an
wondering if
Arcana
that's what
check.
we're doing.
Sure.
Oh, that's not very Arcana.
15.
Arcana?
15?
Arcana.
15 is well
Text-
above average
text
there,
Arcana
Alex.
check.
Well, I rolled a 6.
Arcana.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it.
So it's below his average. By at least 4.
No, it's well
You're just
above his
going
average of
tribal
1 on a
magic.
regular basis.
Hey,
Zealot's
You
trying
shut
to figure
up.
out a Tomb of the
Um,
Dragon Lords.
Somebody has dismantled a magical glyph and trap in the room. On the other side, there are definite signs of the weave having been manipulated. There is either a wizard or a sorcerer or somebody here.
Oh, you hear that, man?
And there is a divine presence emanating from behind the door as well. Some sort of connection to a deity.
I'm prepared.
As am I.
Just going in, hammers blazing.
No.
No, we'll try. Well, I'm gonna walk through.
Diplomacy.
The door?
I cast Bless as he's doing it.
I will follow along. I
I'll
guess.
go with him.
So as you kind of cross the
didn't-
threshold,
I didn't memorize
there's a
Bless, never
long hallway overgrown with like spider webs. About every 5 feet on both sides, there are statues reminiscent of, I think is it a gold dragon? Yes, a gold dragon, designed in his likeness. They just kind of looking down from those perched positions on the center hallway. One of the first things you notice is that there are, again, traces and remnants of magic in the room and spells having been cast at some point.
Maybe this is the dragon whose knight we're going to find.
Maybe.
Just like the other two.
Right.
So you all kind of just pile in behind them, but you're standing basically right on the other side of the doors. What are you doing?
I'm gonna carry on. Seems like they've been through here already.
As you hit the first slab, make a dex save.
Oh! Oh, shit, it's a trap!
So as Locke
you
walks
said it was a
forward,
trap.
you see the lights
knew
in
we
the
were-
eyes like kind of turn on, and they kind of glow. And something just boom emanates just right out of the dragon's mouths downwards at you as you activate a pressure plate.
Trent's been inspired by magical hack.
Oh, I'm so inspired.
I also throw up the my arcane deflection to add a 4 to it, so I have 18.
Ooh.
An 18?
Yeah.
It's one way to get rid of traps. Set them off.
It was one of the dragon statue's eyes that.
Both of them on both sides. So as you step forward and you cast the arcane deflection, not something that you would recognize. It's almost like this cloud, kind of gaseous, like purple and bluish, just comes like rushing out of its mouth downwards on you. Your arcane deflection takes the vast brunt of it and pushes it away. And then as you lift your foot off of the pressure plate, the lights dim in the dragon's eyes, and you hear a mechanism for the plate just kind of click back into place.
Take a step back. Don't step on that one.
There are definitely signs of other things like this down the hallway. Scorch marks, blast marks, signs of magic being used either defensively or offensively. It's obvious to you, like just looking at this hallway, that whoever came before you didn't lose anybody, but there was definitely...
I triggered the trap
there's
and a
triggers.
fight ensued here.
Yes.
Well, then we should probably avoid them then.
You're good at seeing things. Should you go first?
Also,
and
you
come
recognize
on
the
to us?
effect. It would be a gold dragon's weakening breath. If Locke had been consumed by that, he would have lost most of his bodily strength to it.
Very strong.
That's a problem.
If these statues are of the gold dragon, maybe these traps have been here a very long time. These might not have been set by the Cult of Domination just for us.
No, I think these are the traps from the tomb.
But there are
That's what
clear
she just
signs
said.
that
We can confirm that.
Oh, yes.
there are clear signs that they've already been through this, so they know the path.
Right, as do I. And I will be very careful, but I'll start stepping over and around anything I notice is a trap and taking my time so I can try to point it out to the others.
Okay.
How wide are these hallways?
The hallway itself is probably about 15 feet wide
Okay.
or so.
Make sure my glaive fits down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're going first, you should be all right to just shoulder it and just kind of step around this stuff. It takes you the better part of at least 10 minutes to make it through this hallway, but you're capable of, you think you've spotted most of the traps, at least, or most of the pressure plates. It's definitely got this sort of like checkerboard like pattern to the room, but you're pretty sure you identified all the pressure plates.
Wolfio, can you point them out to us? Or are we going with
I
you?
was paying attention while I was doing it.
A little bit, but I just want to make sure.
Hey, if somebody else was paying attention, how about
I
You
presto
tell them.
and put spots on every spot you stepped.
Oh,
How long does Presto last when you do an effect like that?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Or until I dispel it.
And you can do it an infinite amount of times?
I can make an infinitely sized symbol, but so it's kind of more of a line along the floor where he was walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works for me then.
all right. Then I'll just follow the line.
Yeah. So, just like some RPG that we would play, there's like this golden like line that kind of just shows you where he
Yeah.
went. Who's gonna go first?
I'll go.
Make me an acrobatics check with advantage because Locke is helping you.
Help me better.
It's 1 hour
19.
per casting of the spell. For
1
the,
hour?
For the mark, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll last forever.
19.
I'll cast it
19?
a bunch, though.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
19? Okay. So Trin, with his very quick and nimble goblin legs, just kind of hopscotches his way through the room and ends up on the other side next to you, Oltheon.
Oltheon, how did you know where all the traps were? And why didn't you say so before Locke almost got evaporated?
I assumed Locke knew.
This is
Who's
a
next?
secret between
I'll-
you two?
Go ahead.
I'll go next.
Same thing. Acrobatics with advantage.
Ooh, nice. 20.
20.
I rolled an 18 and a 20.
Perfectly enough.
I say
Right.
we make it interesting.
So
We
Katerina
throw a
kind of
rock.
slips her way over there. She, what'd you get? Isn't necessarily super graceful about it, but she
But I
she
feel
makes,
sneaky with
but
my
she
hood
feels
up.
sneaky with her hood up, and she kind of gets over there all quiet like. All right, Godric,
I'll go next.
acrobatics check with advantage.
18.
Okay,
Surprisingly, the Goliath is all right. He can make large enough steps that it honestly isn't much of an issue. Other than at one point, it looks like his foot is too big to stay on the safe plate. And he kind of hesitates for a moment and then tiptoes across the last jump and ends up on the other side.
All right. It was acrobatics, you said, right?
Yep.
21.
21. Yeah, you don't have any issues either. Following right along
As
behind Godric.
As I walk, the line kind of just evaporates behind me.
You end up on the other side. So, while you were over there, Old Neon, you can, from behind this, the next door at the end of the chamber, which is open, you could hear swords and fighting and shouting coming from further into the catacombs, into the tomb.
Really?
And then after Katerina got to you, they stopped.
Well, if... Okay. Well, we took a while.
It's an open door, so
Let's go.
you're looking through it, and the hallway turns and goes left, and now it's these immaculately, like, actually well-maintained looking natural stone caverns, just like the other temple tomb that you were at. From that, winding down and taking a turn, that's where you could hear it coming from. So you know there's nothing here on the other side of the door, at least, like standing there waiting for you or anything.
All right. Well, I think our adventurers are dead. And I'll go through.
Before I walk by, is there any kind of like hidden switch or anything to deactivate the traps behind us?
Make an investigation check with disadvantage.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty disadvantaged.
Nice.
2.
No, it's 6 or 8. Yeah, 8.
It's definitely some sort of mechanical trap, but you can't see any kind of obvious places where there might be any switches or ways to deactivate it. Maybe further in to the tomb,
Yeah.
or it wasn't designed to ever be deactivated.
Fair enough.
The attack is magical, but the triggering mechanism is not.
Okay.
What? Come on, they're leaving us behind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Follow along.
Yeah, following.
As you descend down another set of stairs, you come to a room. And in this room, you can see that there are bodies in there. There is maybe about 4 or 5 of these strange insect-like flying creatures that have been slain and are laying on the floor, and it looks like at least 3 dead mercenaries in the room on the ground. And then out of that chamber, there's another connecting doorway.
Do the mercenaries have any stuff on them?
From where you're standing, it looks like, at a minimum, they're at least carrying their weapons and their armor.
I'll go in to investigate how long the mercenaries have been dead.
Okay. Make me a roll.
Medicine?
Yeah, medicine. Who else is doing anything?
I'll go take a closer look and see if they have any money on them or
Yeah,
anything.
make an investigation check. What'd you roll?
They're still alive.
Yeah, awesome.
I
got an 8.
Perfectly fine. Ambush.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, they haven't been dead very long.
Okay.
A minute, 2 minutes.
I might go poke
Also
the
an 8.
bucks.
We shouldn't wait here. Their friends haven't even looted them.
There's
I'll probably go to the other room.
I'll go.
between all of them, you find like a couple of pouches with like total of like 20 silver pieces, and basically just a bunch of other mundane junk. Some letters, like some personal letters that they had written about accepting work out here in Vanheim.
I will
But nothing of significance.
follow Ulfion.
Okay. Anybody else?
Follow.
No. Okay.
Move on.
I'm gonna get a closer look at these bugs.
All right.
The bug
Make me an investigation check.
They definitely look like bugs.
Well, they're winged
13.
sort of creatures.
13 for the winged creatures.
No, they're sturges.
Ew.
And you can see they're nesting in like the ceiling and the spaces up above.
Ew. I gotta fall. They don't know that they're nesting in here. I'm gonna fall on them. Hey guys, look out. Well, watch out. They might be up above nesting.
Yes, that's what they do.
And they also eat people.
Well, they drain them of the blood, yes.
Yeah, basically from the inside out.
No blood.
Anyway, just be awares.
I'll watch your back to make sure you don't have one on you.
Good. And I'll watch
Oh, you know.
my front.
Perfect. You're completely covered then.
Yes.
Except
Sounds
for your
great.
top.
What?
Godric's got that
Front
one
and
at
your
pretty
back,
much
but
all
not your top.
times.
So, it connects to another room, which seems to be some sort of ancient offerings chamber. There are dozens of vases and pots, coins stacked up. There's at least maybe a few thousand worth of like gold and silver that's just kind of been piled up in these spots around here. You can see the name of the Dragon Knight over the archway that leads into what looks like a heavy wooden door that's been closed behind whoever has come in front of you. So the name would be, it says in Draconic, here lies Gregor Kurt, the rider of the Gold Dragon Amersis.
And Godric will speak that out loud for everybody. Rider of the Gold Dragon, what?
Amersis. Ammirsus.
Well, if we consider that not all of the mercenaries are laying on the floor back there, do you think the other ones got through?
It's very possible.
Yes, they're
I don't know where else they could have
found
gone.
substantiating through the walls.
Who are they fighting?
The Sturges.
Just the Sturges?
Yes.
It seems that way.
There's another way to find out too. Just go forward.
I think that's the only thing we can do.
I didn't think.
But really, they're the size of dogs.
Well,
And not everyone's as good as we are.
I think we should keep our eyes out for any messages, kind of like the last one. Send your bravest that knows their true self. So on and so forth. You know, send the most handsome of you. So of course it would be me. Something like that. I'm just saying.
Right, let's keep going.
Let's through the doors.
Yep.
Do you see another way?
Yeah,
No,
keep on going.
I'll go try the door.
All right. Yeah, so you kind of grab the handles and pull on them, and it starts coming apart. And then you hear someone on the other side go, "Hey, what was that?" And a couple other go, "I don't know. The door moved. I thought we locked it. Didn't you lock it?" And they start arguing about it amongst themselves. And
No.
there's all right. So you fling them open, and you guys are face to face at this landing of this lounge room with this huge spiral staircase. And there's like standing tall over about these 5 mercenaries are 2 of these large dragonborn who immediately snap to your attention and look at you. And just everybody has a brief pause, or nothing is happening
Sacred Flame.
Mercenaries, we're here to save you.
Hi, everybody.
until next Friday.
Oh!